dispatching troops to squash various threats as they pop up on distant planets, which looks like a healthy mix of XCOM and Helldivers, but with a bit more heavy ordnance at your disposal, including mechs and tanks and the like. On the 6th, there's Neo 3, the latest installment in Koei Tecmo and Team Ninja's hacky slashy slicey dicey Souls'em-alike, which is ready to kick your ass on PS5 and PC. That very same day on those platforms plus Xbox Series, there is My Hero Academia All's Justice, which adapts the final arc of the quirky superhero anime with a massive roster of colorful characters that you can bash together like action figures in a sandbox. Every year we have the debate about whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie, but here's a better question. Is Home Alone a tower defense movie? Well, regardless of your answer, Bandit Trap is an asymmetrical multiplayer game that very clearly takes some cues from the Chris Columbus classic. One player is tasked with bandit-proofing their house and the other 3 have to break in and steal their stuff. Okay, now can someone do a realistic version of this where a small child must use household items to brutally maim a couple of adult criminals? Please? Yes! You can keep that idea, you filthy animals, and in the meantime, you can play Bandit Trap on current gen and PC. In case Easy Cheese doesn't offer enough of a challenge, you can develop a bad case of lactose intolerance in Monterey Jack, a first-person survival horror game with some scary cheesemen chasing you around a, you guessed it, family fun center. That one hits Xbox Series, PS5, and PC on the 9th. On the 10th, Mugenics finally hits PC, which is the long-awaited feline-focused strategy game from the Binding of Isaac creator Edmund McMillan and Newgrounds wunderkind Tyler Glale. This was announced way back in 2012 and went through some development troubles, but it looks like it has miraculously clawed its way out of development hell, so hopefully it's worth the wait. On February 11th, you've got your pick of the quaint, cozy, and very chill-looking hidden picture game Lost and Found Company, which is on PC, or the completely bonkers balls-to-the-wall ultraviolence of Romeo is a Dead Man, the latest from kooky No More Heroes and Killer 7 creator Suda51. That one's on PC, plus the newer Nintendo consoles.
Oh wait, the big dogs are gonna get upset. How about this?
On the 12th, you can launder money in a literal sense with Cash Cleaner Simulator, which is coming to Xbox Series and PS5, or you can get Cerebral in the color-coded Portal-like Chromagun 2 Die Hard, which is on those platforms plus the Switch 2 and PC. BlazBlue Entropy Effect X hits PS5, Xbox Series, and Switch, which is an enhanced version of the action roguelite set in the universe of the long-running brawler. There's Ride 6, which is about going as fast as possible to win races on a 2-wheeled motor vehicle, which gets early access starting on February 9th. And then there's Disciples Domination, which is about taking your time to conquer your opponents in turn-based combat in a fantasy realm. Both of those are on Xbox Series, PS5, and PC. If you'd like a game where you have to balance the wholesome challenge of raising a bunch of adorable orphans and the necessary challenge of repeatedly beating the shit out of mobsters with a parking cone in the street, you will probably enjoy Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties, the fully modern remake of the 2009 entry in the long-running series. That's coming to both PlayStation's, Xbox Series, Switch 2, and PC. Any Nintendo fans who want to recreate the love triangle depicted in the hit film Challengers but have it be about Luigi and Waluigi competing for the affections of Rosalina, you have 2 options. Make a bunch of weird horny fan art and post it online, or take a swing at it in Mario Tennis Fever, which hits Switch 2 that day as well. If you find yourself stranded in the wilderness, you can kill time until the search and rescue team shows up by playing the 2013 Tomb Raider reboot on your Android or iOS mobile device. Hopefully they find you before you suffer any of the horrific deaths that Lara Croft is subjected to by anybody who is bad at this game. On February 13th, High on Life 2 does what not enough video game sequels do, which is stick to what worked the first time around, but adds skateboarding. What other games have taken this approach? I don't know. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance, probably other games. In any case, if you slept on the first game, the hook here is it's a first-person shooter Metroidvania in which you play as a space bounty hunter in a galaxy where aliens are harvesting human organs for medicinal purposes. In the first one, it was for the sake of recreational drug use, but this time around, the intergalactic pharmaceutical industry is getting in on the action. Also, your guns are all talking aliens called Gatlians, voiced by a bunch of stand-up comedians. It's a good time. That one's on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC.
Oh God, I can't wait to kill this guy. So annoying.
If you'd rather have a bad time in a fun way, there's Reanimal that day as well, which is the latest puzzle platformer horror game from the team behind Little Nightmares 1 and 2. Those games managed to be plenty creepy with a T rating, and this one is going full M for mature, so I think it's gonna get real dark. A lot of video games will throw a catchy song over their trailers to get people hype, but Reanimal's pre-order trailer decided to forego that for Queen Elizabeth II's 1940 wartime address to British children in the wake of the Blitz, which sets an extremely foreboding tone. That one is on current gen and PC. Equally disturbing in a very, very different way is Screaming Head, a surreal MS Painterly 2D platformer that hits PC on the 16th and threatens in its official Steam description to make you rage, suffer, and bite your gamepad in frustration. On a more chill note, there's also Astro Botanica, an alien survival farming game which is coming to early access that same day. Calamity Angels Special Delivery sounds like something I would say to my wife and daughter when putting a plate of bagel bites down in front of them during a particularly chaotic movie night, but it is in fact a JRPG with a board game twist about managing mail carriers. That one is on the PlayStations and Switch with a PC release on the way. On the 19th, PC players also get Dead in Antares, which is a brightly colored turn-based survival management game with a dash of RPG where you are in charge of the well-being of the unreasonably attractive crew of a spaceship that's stranded on an alien planet. If you want something equally colorful but a little more fast-paced, there's also the open-world 3D platformer Demon Tides as well, which is the follow-up to Demon Turf. Finally, on the 19th, there's Styx, Blades of Greed, the latest entry in the stealth series about a weird little dude creeping around doing all sorts of sneaky mischief. That one's on Xbox Series, PS5, and PC. On the 20th, East 10 Proud Nordics is the enhanced re-release of the 2023 JRPG, which puts to rest the old saying, Viking never strikes twice. That's the saying, isn't it?
That's not a thing!
In any case, that's on PS5, Switch 2, and PC. The logo kind of reads like Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six-Mobile, which conjures up imagery of a luxury vehicle outfitted with various tactical aftermarket parts that the late author could use to get himself between book signings, but it is in fact Rainbow Six Mobile. And on the 23rd, the hit Ubisoft 5v5 shooter gets a streamlined portable version for you to play on the bus or the John or wherever you may find yourself that you wouldn't be playing the regular version of this game. On the 26th, there is Tokyo Extreme Racer, and to be perfectly honest, it is very unclear what this game is about. If I had to guess, I think you drive some sort of motor vehicle. Looks like very fast. Could be slow, not sure. Some speed in or around a major Japanese metropolis, I think. I'm sorry, I'm not more help on this one. That one's on PS5. You got to figure it out for yourself. No Sleep for Kaname Date from AI The Somnium Files is an ironically soporific title, but if that 15-syllable serving of word salad doesn't make you nod off, there is a bonkers-sounding visual novel adventure involving alien abductions and escape rooms and other mysteries to lose sleep over. That one's already on Switch and PC, but on the 26th it hits Xbox Series X and S and PlayStation 4 and 5. Visual novel adventure fans are eating good that day, and Switch also gets Path of Mystery, A Brush with Death, which involves two comely anime youths solving the 30-year-old murder of a landscape painter, that old chestnut, and along the way they will encounter some throwback 8-bit sequences that attempt to make us forget that the mid-80s were actually 40 years ago, not 30.
I done the math. Checks out.
If you're old enough to have fond memories of 90s arcades, you'll be happy to know that a trilogy of classic shmups are getting a nice new collection in the form of Raiden Fighters Remix Collection, which does in fact feature remixed music, as well as some new features and quality of life improvements. That's on the PlayStations and Switch. And then, on February 27th, the wait is finally over. That's right. Tales of Berseria has finally been remastered. Experience the 16th one-of-a-kind experience in this long-running JRPG series, overhauled and enhanced for current-gen consoles and also Switch. Congratulations to all the Berseria fans out there living their besteria lives. Okay, I'm kidding. With all due respect to Tales fans, you and I both know that Resident Evil Requiem is the biggest game dropping this month, and it's hitting PS5, Xbox Series, PC, and Switch 2 that very same day. And man, there's a whole lot riding on this one. I was kind of tepid on this following the initial reveal and a hands-on demo at Gamescom, which was just straight horror, just creeping around in hallways and getting jump scared by a big lady. But then, After months of rumors, we got confirmation that it would also see the return of that shearling-jacketed heartthrob Leon S. Kennedy, and that the game would not just be pure survival horror, but would also feature equal measure suplexing himbo action with a dash of idiotic one-liners.
I think I want a second opinion.
Man, I'm excited for this. The series turns 30 this year, and its first 10 years saw it practically invent the survival horror genre, and then its second decade had kind of an identity crisis because RE4 changed the recipe to something action-focused and did such a good job doing it, and luckily, it eventually got back on track with that 1-2 punch of soft rebooting the franchise with RE7, and also playing the greatest hits with great remakes of 2 through 4. And now, Requiem is setting out to sort of tie all of that together. Will it work? I don't know, but I'm excited to find out. And I love that just Leon shows up in his fucking Porsche and he starts kicking zombies in the crotch and like smashing their heads open and stealing their chainsaws and just saying stupid shit. Just, what is this man? What is his deal? What is his job? What is he doing here? I'm excited for this. I love it.
Nice.
In addition to all that, if you're a Nintendo Switch 2 owner who missed out on the last 2 mainline Resident Evil installments, rest assured that 7 and Village are both getting nice shiny Switch 2 ports that you can take on the go or play under the covers in bed before you go to sleep and have terrible nightmares, because those games are scary but also a very good time. Anyway, there you have it. That is a glance at what is coming out in February, the first truly stacked month in a year that is shaping up to be seriously huge for gaming. If you haven't yet, go check out our look ahead at the biggest games coming out in 2026 that we currently know about. And also, if you're a fan of watching movies the good old-fashioned way on physical media, go check out something new we're trying out. It is the biggest 4K Blu-ray releases of the month. We have one going up for February. Please go watch that. It's a new thing. We'd love it if it became successful, and we need your help to do it, so go watch that video. That is all from me. As always, a big, huge thank you to Amanda Medina, Chris Del Padre, and Logan Plant for helping this video come together, and an even bigger thank you to everybody who took the time to watch. Please let me know in the comments what games we forgot this month and why anybody should care. There are so many games coming out, it's hard to keep track. It's always nice to get a good human recommendation of stuff that's worth keeping an eye on. I will see you next month, or perhaps sooner if you go watch some of my other videos. Did you know that I can see you when you watch my videos? It's true. Now get your finger out of there. I'll see you next time.
They are soldiers and warriors that basically have seen it all. You're in deep shit if they show up.
The Viltrumites are completely and unequivocally bad news.
You're an open. Answer our questions and we will consider sparing your life.
That is not your style. Isn't it kill first, ask questions, never?
So the Viltrumites come from planet Viltrum. Their goal is to conquer. They're brutal, they're ruthless, they're insanely powerful.
They're very strong personalities, very strong identities, but they're also always pointing back to the Empire.
There's basically just a deeply evil empire behind the Viltrumite message.
I mean, everybody just gets jacked up by Viltrumites. Alan, when he gets his eyeball popped out, is pretty brutal.
We have Omni-Man, we have Thula, we have Anissa, and we have Lucan.
We were very mindful about how we can differentiate them from each other in a way that doesn't feel like they're copy-pasted.
They have plenty of identity per Viltrumite, and I think people will have fun like finding which ones really feel good in their hands.
All the Viltrumites are awesome. They all have their unique looks and play styles.
Who are you?
My name is Anissa, and I'm an agent of the Viltrum Empire.
Anissa's intense.
No nonsense and precise.
The stoic nature to her.
Anissa is one of the biggest believers in the Viltrumite message. She's drank the Kool-Aid more than anyone else.
How little you know of your own people.
They're not my people.
Oh, we are your people. You simply do not accept it yet.
She's this badass, kind of mid-sized fighter, very in your face.
He really wanted to express kind of like the blade-like nature of the attacks that Viltrumites can do. So a lot of focus on very fast movement.
She's really scary.
Are you sure you're Nolan's son?
My favorite Viltrumite to work on was probably Lucan, because he's just kind of got some shapes that are fun. He's got a big old belly, so we added some sim jiggle to that, you know, the right amount, like tastefully done.
He's got the dad bod, but he's also strong and arrogant and brash.
kind of a big, beefy grappler. He'll body slam you.
We wanted to show that he was still quick, but had a lot of muscle underneath him, even though he was kind of a thicker character.
Lucan is a fantastic grappler. He can put a lot of fear into your head and dread. As a true grappler, you can't block some of his attacks.
He feels particularly like threatening to get in his attack zone, in his melee zone, because of how quickly he can just kind of snatch you towards him.
He's actually one of the more mobile characters in the game. His special is that he'll grab your character, bring you up into the air with him, because he can actually fly and smash you back down into the ground, which is terrifying to play against.
His belly, his dad bod, is also a weapon. You can throw that into chains. It'll allow you to continue combos, and the boosted version has super armor on it.
The belly flop, I mean.
He grabs the defender in the air and then does this like belly land on top of you. It's fun because it's an attack that even if it misses, it still has a fun character and flavor to it.
His ultimate is pretty awesome. It really evokes his arrogance and his disdain for anyone weak.
And the finger smash from the show is pretty cool too.
I've had enough of this! You're not worthy of my efforts! Get that through your skull!
Anissa is extremely fast.
She feels both powerful and agile at the same time.
She has 3 different special moves that kind of are examples of like her speed and power. One of her special moves, she does a series of like strikes. She also has a special move that allows her to basically extend forward right into her opponent's face, like a very fast strike.
My turn.
Then she has another special move where she goes into basically a hover stance. She can do it on the ground, she can do it in the air. And from this stance, she can dodge back.
Then waiting for you to try to get close. And as soon as you do it, she dodges it and just slaps you around the face.
Once more!
One of my favorite moments for Anissa is her ult.
Her ultimate does call out one of the things that happens in the show where she like just slaps people around. Get yourself together, you're nothing to me, kind of a character.
Your education begins here. Learn your place.
Tips and tricks of playing Anissa, you really want to learn her special dodges. Not a lot of characters have that, so that's something you'll want to practice. She's got a lot of in and out gameplay as far as like, she'll stay on the outsides and then want to immediately get on top of the opponent with strikes, take him up into the air, and do a series of just killer combos. Lucan can be your main. The threat of the throw is going to allow you to do a lot of combos. And then it's learning when to actually execute that throw.
So my Viltrumite lineup would be Thula for her grab, her range, Omni-Man for his versatility, and Anissa because she's just awesome.
You might want a up-close grappler like Lucan, you might want somebody with a little bit of range like Thula, and then you might want Omni-Man, who's kind of has a bit of range and a bit of up-close fighting style as well.
I think we have a really cool cast of Viltrumites. I think they all bring something really different and unique to the table. Every one of them, their personality shines through, and I'm really proud of the team who's worked on it.
How dare you embarrass me?
This city is an extension of my being, my body. Today, it became infected.
Well, he's definitely has the air of of a rock star, a modern day pirate, He's got very good taste. He likes nice things. As rough as of a side that he has a very sophisticated side as well. So he's an interesting character. I think my first memory of James Bond was when Roger Moore entered, and you had The Spy Who Loved Me and all of those. And then I discovered Sean Connery. After that, went back and saw all of those. But I used to go and line up at the theater, on the Friday night. The first night it would be in the theater, and go see Bond films with a friend of mine that I went to high school with. It was something that I was definitely into.
Yeah.
You know, I loved the movies, the character, and of course through the years, it's been interpreted by many different actors, and it's always interesting to see their play. You know, people have their favorite Bonds, you know, who they consider to really embody James Bond. But yeah, that's when it started, junior high and high school. And also the soundtracks.
Yes.
You know, the theme songs were always amazing. I mean, that one was Carly Simon, Nobody Does It Better. You know, you go back to some of my favorites, Goldfinger, Shirley Bassey, Live and Let Die, Paul McCartney and Wings. I mean, they were always epic songs. Duran Duran, View to a Kill. Well, I was working with the directors, you know, that were on the, you know, they were. I was in New York City. People were all around the world watching this thing happen, and I can't remember where the director was, but you know, they would give guidance. Try it this way. Could you slow down here? Could you know? So it was a collaboration of just getting the rhythm, the tone. I mean, in this case, you really, you know, since it's not a film. It's you know, a representation of you. It's really all in the voice. It's really all in the voice.
I am sometimes asked, Bafma, how is it that you hear every whisper in every corner?
I've met some folks that are similar to his character. I grew up in the, you know, in the Bahamas as well as New York City. There were guys that had that vibe and that were doing things in the islands that I'd known, so had a little bit of reference. No, it was just the character. Yeah. So I hadn't seen any, you know, other footage or heard any other voiceovers. So it was really sort of just in the dark, you know? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they know that, thus the director knowing kind of what he wants, because they know the balance. They know what all the other people are doing. I didn't get to hear that. Yeah. Yeah. It took a moment, you know. Took maybe, you know, 30 minutes to, you know, we'd read through it, and change things. And then eventually found the sweet spot, and then I was told that's it. Yeah, it's kind of this. I mean, look, you don't get to move. It's not you live in action, but you're imagining all the movement in your head while you're doing it. You know, so you just kind of have this movie playing in your head while you're doing it. They had an initial idea, and then we sort of worked on it together, and ended up making him right. It was a little bit of a process, but it went down pretty quickly. They had their idea of color, the suit, then we changed the shape of the suit and the cut of the suit, added accessories, the tattoos, the gunshot wounds and the knife wounds and all the jewelry, and, you know, just built it like you would build anything for yourself.
Helm's yours, Cotton. Wake the guns! Helm's yours, Captain. To the guns, you dogs! on, Captain! Ships under your hand, Captain!
Say his name! My God, man, these people love Joe Hendry. And he appears.
The following contest is an I Quit match. There will be no pinfalls, no countouts, and no disqualifications. The only way to achieve victory is to make your opponent say the words, I quit. Making his way to the ring from Edinburgh, Scotland, weighing in at 230 pounds, Joe Hendry.
The people, man, they love Joe Hendry. Saying his name, waving hands, man. Hey, you're waving hands too, Cole.
Listen, this guy makes every match and every entrance an unforgettable moment.
Look, I can't deny that this man has crossed lines, man, made an impact, and now Joe Hendry is here in WWE. Let's go.
It has been almost 3 years since Street Fighter 6 was released, the latest entry in the popular Street Fighter franchise, and it's still going to be around for many years to come. If you played Street Fighter 6 when it originally came out and then stopped after a while, there have been some major updates to the core gameplay systems and character balance since then. So, if you are excited for a new DLC character or a recent tournament got you hyped for the game again, here's some of the big updates for Street Fighter 6 since it came out. Street Fighter 6 has been getting a lot of new features added to the game beyond just the basic gameplay. We're not going to go into each of these individually because there's too many to cover, but over the last 3 years we've got new costumes, new UI elements, tons of new colors, emotes, playable arcade games, a whole bunch of customizable elements for your created Battle Hub characters, from emotes to pieces of clothing, etc, etc. One big new feature introduced in September of 2024 was the V-Rival mode. Here you could fight AIs that simulate real player tactics and strategies to help sharpen your skills to get ready for the intense world of Street Fighter 6 ranked play, or just to hone your edge if you want something more involved than just training mode. There's even been themed V-Rival challenges, like say Street Fighter 6 developer and pro fighting game player Woshige, or the legendary Justin Wong. For changes to the game since launch, some are universal, but some small changes like starting a combo with light attacks that will scale the damage more than it used to at launch, meaning you will do a bit less damage for starting combos with your fastest buttons. Other things like drive reversal being safer, although still not safe, on block. Some changes have had a more profound effect on the core gameplay, like the changes to the parry mechanic. Parry is one of the most important backbones of Street Fighter 6, and at launch it was maybe a little too strong, so it was changed in the following ways. One of the main ones is if you parry, your hurt box is widely expanded. What does that mean? Throws are the main way to punish a parry, and now you can throw the opponent from much further away while they are doing it. On top of that, the parry takes longer to recover than it did at launch, specifically 33 frames versus 29 frames, so it's much easier to punish if they whiff a parry. In addition to that, at launch you could perfect parry simply by performing a parry right before an attack hit you, regardless of whether the attack was a high or a low. This made it very easy for players to fish for the perfect parry timing. This was changed in the Season 3 update, where you must now aim your parry correctly by either holding down back to parry a low attack, or back to parry a mid or a high attack. Before, the perfect parry would trigger off of any attack. Now you have to actually know which moves are coming your way. These various changes made perfect parry more of a deliberate call out rather than just something you would toss out and hope for the best. Now, of course, Street Fighter being Street Fighter, there's also been lots of new characters and stages since the game has come out.
As of the time of this video, we're currently in the 3rd season of the game, and we've had lots of new people show up, not the least of which we had first ever guest characters in Street Fighter history, as we had Terry Bogard and Mai Shiranui of Fatal Fury and King of Fighters fame show up. Excellently done and well received, and since launch there's been plenty of new characters, like say Fang's apprentice Aki, who dabbles in poison, the Master of Evil returns, M. Bison, the dictator of Shadaloo, the fun-loving turbulent wind himself, Rashid, fan favorites Akuma and Elena, who are now, by the way, canonical good friends, not just a meme anymore, the boxer powered by Psycho Power, Ed, and even in the current season of the game, we've had characters like fan favorites Sea Viper and Sagat return to the roster, and of course, everyone's getting various stages as they show up. And there's more to come as well, and the fact that Street Fighter will be around for many years to come, it's safe to say you can expect a lot of new content for the game. Now, one of the most important changes that can happen over time in any fighting game is the balance changes. And since the launch of Street Fighter 6, there's been a lot of balance changes for the cast. Some are great, some are buffs, some are nerfs. There's way too many to go over in this one video, but let me give you some of the highlights. Some changes are small but interesting. A character like Manon, who has her steamroll medal mechanic. The more medals she gets, the more her various attacks and command grabs do. They have implemented that into her super moves. For example, her big dramatic level 3 super move now scales with her medals. So it will do more and more damage the more and more medals you have, making them all the more important. That's a really nice buff. Zangief is a character who struggled a lot at launch, and they gave him a lot of buffs, so much in fact they had to wind them back a little bit in later patches. But things like his big charge heavy punch, that does more damage. His iconic lariat move, that does more damage. His forward heavy kick wheel kick is now safer on block and pushes the enemy back more, making it more advantageous to use in the neutral. His critically important move forward heavy punch, the big headbutt, became so advantage it would naturally link into the Hell Stab, giving him new combos. A character like Chun-Li didn't receive giant changes since launch, but just enough to make her interesting. Stuff like her very important stand heavy punch is now safe on block no matter how close you are to the enemy. And they gave her a lot of new combo routings, like her stance medium kick can now easily go into heavy spinning bird kick, or into a crouch heavy punch on drive rush, just so you can get just a little bit more damage. Kimberly has achieved many fantastic buffs since the game has launched. So some can be simple, like just some of her combo structures have changed up, like being able to combo into level 2 in places where she couldn't, and her level 2 super doing more damage on top of that. Her standing heavy punch getting a very significant range buff, making it just easier to use in neutral and for whiff punishing. And the fact now when she does her level 1 super that she can choose whether or not to use her spray can, so if you want to save it for later, you can, and many more. E Honda got buffs and nerfs. One of the big nerfs was to his headbutt, which is safer on block by the numbers but left the enemy closer, so he had to now vary his game plan because he would not just be pushed all the way back. Some of the buffs he got to make up for this include his stand medium punch, which now is much more advantageous on hit, and also moves forward a lot further, making it one of his most dominant buttons. His iconic butt stomp move now causes a hard knockdown on the enemy. Since a hard knockdown forces the opponent to wake up in place, that means they're put in a very bad situation where Honda can get some frame perfect timings on their wake up. The enhanced butt slam is more advantageous on block. Other ways to terrorize the opponent on block that got buffed is his unique stance. So if you do the punch option out of the stance, it's now more advantageous on block, and also leaves the enemy closer to you so you can do things like threaten a command grab. For Ryu, who is the face of Street Fighter, they decided we want Ryu to be one of the best characters in the game, and they kept buffing him until it happened. Something like the classical Hadouken Fireball just simply does more damage. His level 1 super, the Shinku Hadouken, now goes much faster. In fact, it's so fast off an enhanced Hadouken, you can combo into it from full screen now. Moves like forward heavy punch are now much more advantageous on block, and if you happen to hit, those combos will now do more damage. The various versions of high blade kick are now just better across the board, either having better numbers in startup or just doing more damage. The heavy version of these is definitely the most impressive, as it now deals much more drive gauge damage on block, and it's also completely safe on block now when it did not used to be before. When it comes to his unique buff, the Denjin that can give him charged fireballs, you now can choose to store it. If you do a light or a medium fireball, you do not use the buff, only when you do the heavy version of the move. At launch, any button press of any fireball would immediately use the buff. Now you can save it for whenever you want to use it. Across the board on many of his moves, he does more damage, gains more super meter, has better numbers on block, has better numbers on hit. This was a character that they wanted to be good, and they made him very good over the patches over the course of the game's life. And of course, there is so many balance changes, we don't have time to go into them all in this one video. Please check Capcom's official site, they have them there in great detail. And that's a rundown of how Street Fighter 6 has changed since launch. There are more changes on the way, with Alex and Ingrid on the horizon as the final 2 characters of Character Pack 3, and a big balance patch looming in March that fans are hoping will significantly shake up the current meta. Thanks for watching, and for more in the world of video games, keep it here on IGN.
Is there something innate about Batman that makes him so beloved across the entire world? A tragic story that is being transformed into something good? Or is it that Batman has attracted some of the greatest artists in all mediums, comic books, gaming, film, television, that have told the story about this character, and because of that, his legend has grown and grown? I think the answer is both.
It's always interesting to me how different creatives can do something really unique with Batman using the same building blocks.
Years ago at TT, we made the first Lego Batman game. That was so special for us. But now, with Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight, we are able to draw upon the whole history of that wonderful character and distill decades of fantastic storytelling to really immerse players in the experience of becoming the Dark Knight.
I took the liberty of making some adjustments.
The nature, the tonality of Batman changed with the times. That's what keeps these characters interesting.
When we were looking at bringing this into one narrative, we did a lot of research.
We've pulled in all of these references from Batman movies and TV shows.
Batman 89, The Batman, The Dark Knight trilogy,
the animated series.
We read every comic we could find. We had access to all the DC archive, and then putting down key, essential, iconic moments. That was our starting point.
Everybody sees Batman in a different way. There's Batman as the do-gooder, Batman as the Dark Knight, this creature of vengeance. One of the many great things about Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight is that it manifests all these different elements of Batman that we've loved over the years. People can experience this character maybe as fully as they ever have.
Come on, Bruce, we'll be late for the movie.
We start with young Bruce Wayne in the grounds of Wayne Manor, excited to go to the movies.
Bruce!
I need my outfit.
Years later, we see him train with the League of Shadows and Nanda Parbat, and then return as a crime fighter to Gotham City, where he builds a new family of crime-fighting allies.
This has some of the greatest supporting characters of any Batman story ever, starting with Commissioner Gordon, an undervalued Batman character, a character I love.
Batman.
In Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight, the criminals become ever more colorful and crazed.
Probably the coolest rogues gallery in all of fiction.
Gangs of criminals equipped with weapons. So as the player progresses, they will learn the skills and tactics they need to really start to turn the tide of crime in Gotham.
I need to become more than a man. I need to become a symbol.
I love this combination of DC and Lego. I like them working together. There's something about Lego that just opens our mind to play and creativity and kind of our own personal artistic expression.
It has that spirit of
the Lego physical toys, having all these different sets, pouring them on the floor, mashing them together and telling your own story like we all did as kids.
I think the creative, playful nature of Lego Brick feeds into how we work here at TT. This kind of wonderful medium, harmonizing and visually bring it all together so it's cohesive.
We've worked with TT Games for the longest time. There's a almost tactile feel to their games that makes it feel just right.
They were able to create the diversity, the density, the beauty in some ways of the world of Batman through the vocabulary of Lego bricks.
In this title, more than any of our others, we were really conscious about an engaging and dramatic story. Some of the best comedy sits in those dramatic moments.
The comedy always drives the narrative. It never interrupts it.
Hey, free!
What? I love when a story defies expectation. I love the fact that we're going into Lego Batman. It actually has real emotion and stakes.
Lego Bricks as a medium changes the lens. It's adding a more playful aspect to it without taking away the main story.
It's almost like a mosaic. When you come up close to a wall, you go, that's a Lego brick. You pull back and now you're in Gotham City and it feels and looks like Gotham City.
For this game, we've strived to achieve a whole new level of detail.
The surface imperfections of everything has been enhanced a lot.
The small weave on the capes, the water droplets, how the rain runs down a character's face or on the Lego vehicles. Every small detail we've pursued to make sure we're clearly visually better than what we've done before.
You're in a world of Gotham City that is more alive and rich than any environment we've ever created.
We know Gotham has had a history, so we built this layered experience, and that kind of helps with our mechanics.
The traversal of the city is just way, way beyond what we've done before.
We really wanted to make sure that players could grapple and glide around Gotham City with that same mastery that Batman has.
Being Batman, you get to drive the Batmobile.
Weaving in and out of traffic, hitting the boost, trying to control your speed.
In the cityscapes, there'll be these alleys and these hidden rooftops and hidden areas where crimes will be taking place. And it's on you to go and find those locations, discover new things, and protect the city.
Who are you?
When we're doing the testing now, it's fantastic to hear the feedback where they're saying, you feel like you're Batman. You are coming out of the darkness and taking the baddies down.
It is incredible how immersive it feels. Like they've brought so many nuances and details of the world of Batman to life through this game. And the fact that you can do it with a friend or a buddy as a dynamic duo in the same room together, I think people are just gonna be blown away.
The big part of the success with Lego brand is stories and experiences connect from one generation to the next.
I mean, I'm excited about all the people that have never experienced Batman in any sort of personal way, being able to play this game, and now they have their own connection to Batman. They have their own connection to the DC universe.
Part of the premise of working on Batman is to come in and do your own take. Lego Batman, Legacy of the Dark Knight reflects that ambition.
This game is an absolute celebration of everything Batman.
A lot of people have been waiting for exactly this experience.
Batman's primal story of fear and overcoming fear has lived on for generations, and all of us at TT are incredibly honored to now be able to contribute to that legacy.
I'm Batman.
IGN Fan Fest 2026. The biggest names in games and entertainment heading your way. From new looks at Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection, WWE 2K26.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Lego Batman.
That's not where I was aiming.
Normal. And more. IGN Fan Fest 2026 kicks off right now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN Fan Fest 2026. I'm Damon Hatfield.
And I'm Kim Horcher. We have a super fun show lined up for you, and if this is your first time joining us for one of these, it's basically all the best parts of a comic convention or a big gaming event from the comfort of your own home.
Of course, one of the best parts of going to conventions is buying cool stuff, and if you want to treat yourself to something cool while you're watching Fan Fest, we've got you covered.
Over on the IGN store, you can find tons of shirts, gear, collectibles, vinyl, and other cool merch based on your favorite games and entertainment like Expedition 33, Fallout, and a lot of exclusive items you won't find anywhere else. See for yourself at store.ign.com.
If you're looking for something to play that also supports a great cause, IGN's sister site Humble has an awesome curated bundle of PC games right now that includes Kill Knight, Inkbound, and Osmos, just to name a few.
And now it's time for IGN Fan Fest, a show so big that we've brought in some very special guests just to introduce it all. Give it up for the stars of Women of Wrestling, Sibley Skulls, Candy Crush, and Coach Campanelli.
All right, wow, Sibley Skulls here, and I'm joined with Coach Campanelli and Candy Crush of Top Tier. You're about to step into that ring. How are you feeling?
Well, Sibley, I'm locked in, I'm in the zone, and I'm ready to throw down. And when we get out there, you're gonna be reminded why they call us Top Tier.
That's right.
Excuse me, sorry, wow, Women of Wrestling. Yeah, this is actually IGN Fan Fest. There's no ring. We're showing off a bunch of cool video games and movies and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, well, you two are about to kick off the IGN Fan Fest 2026. How are you feeling?
I'm still locked in, I'm still in the zone, and I'm still ready to throw down. When you see what's coming up, you're gonna be reminded why they call it IGN Fan Fest. Yeah!
Wow, I could not have said it better myself. So to kick, things off, we're taking a look at all things fighting, starting with a look at the upcoming Mortal Kombat 2 movie. Check it out.
Can somebody get him some ice?
Hi IGN fans, I'm Carl Urban from Mortal Kombat 2. I'm thrilled to bring you the first look at our brand new trailer. Thank you for all your support. This community has been absolutely incredible, and we can't wait for you to experience the movie in cinemas on May 8th. But first, a huge shout out to everyone who submitted videos. You absolutely crushed it. Here's a compilation of your best combat calls.
Get over here! Get over here! Finish him! Get over here! Finish him!
Wow, you guys are the best, and your calls for combat have been heard. Mortal Kombat has always been for the fans, and we can't wait for you guys to see Mortal Kombat 2 on May 8th. Let's not keep you waiting any longer for the trailer, and get over here!
You want to know what makes a hero? It's not destiny. It's not something you're born with. It's searching for greatness.
Johnny Cage, you have been chosen for Mortal Kombat.
Then realizing you've had it in you this entire time.
Whoa! I really don't feel comfortable hitting a girl.
Don't worry. You won't.
Yo, send me back. I want to go back.
The rules of the tournament are simple. Our fates would not be settled by the size of our armies. They would be decided by combat.
I'm not some great warrior. I'm not some champion.
This is a war for the fate of your world.
Finish him!
Me?
Earth belongs to me.
We do not kneel!
Our only chance is to face this together.
Let's go, baby.
You, Johnny Cage, are a part of this now.
It's showtime.
Get over here!
Johnny will definitely die.
Poured all my rage into this single task.
Sit down!
I'm looking for invincible.
Not listening! All of you are guilty of something. Die! Die!
You gotta cool it, dude.
I'll end it here!
Hurting us won't bring your family back.
You! I'm not finished! This is all your fault! For the pain you've caused, the people you've hurt! Die! You can't keep getting away with this!
不満のようだぜ。カモン。
Alex is the next DLC character to come to Street Fighter 6 on March 17th, and as exciting as that is, what's even more exciting is who Capcom got to do the motion capture for him. He is a former AEW World Champion, International Champion, Tag Champion, Trios Champion, 2 times, on top of a multitude of other titles won all across the world. He is the best bout machine, he is Kenny Omega, and he is here right now to talk all about the experience of becoming Alex. Welcome, sir.
You're making me blush. Thank you for that grand intro. It's wonderful to be here.
Well, it's wonderful to have you. First off, congratulations. I know that Street Fighter is a series that means a ton to you, and Alex is a character that means a lot to you as well. So, yeah. I mean, is this like a dream come true? How are you feeling about this moment right now?
Being able to do motion capture was always a bucket list thing for me to do. And then to do it for a character that I have so much love and passion for. And also not just do the motion capture, but it's almost an extension of all the stuff I do in the ring. It was fun, it was challenging, but at the same time, so rewarding because now there's kind of a part of me that lives on forever in this game. So I am so excited, so proud, and I can't wait until he releases.
I can't help but thinking. It seemed like a lifetime ago that I was spending my time fighting in the streets.
So how did this whole thing come together? Can you talk a little bit about the origins of this whole experience?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very odd story and kind of serendipitous in a way. I remember I was at Tokyo Game Show, I think it was 2023, so this is going years back already. And there had been discussion of me possibly being a representative for the Season 3 content. And they had asked questions like, hey, do you mind doing cosplay? Does it matter if you're bald? Do you care if you dress up as a female character? Things like that. And I said, where do I sign up? I had said, but you know what would be awesome? I said, if one of the characters were Alex. They kind of had a grin on their face, kind of telling me without telling me that, yes, Alex is going to be a character. And then finally, when the news broke and they told me, okay, we signed the NDAs and we know where the characters are, Alex will in fact be one of them. And they said, for you being such a good sport, it'd be cool if we, put a move of yours in, maybe 1 or 2 or a taunt or something. I had said, wow, that would be great. I don't know when I could fit that into my schedule to do the mocap for it. And they had said, oh, wait, you do the mocap for it? I said, yeah, is that what you were talking about or no? They said, oh my, if you would do the mocap for it, that would be awesome. And so a misunderstanding on my part is what led to me actually going to the studio and doing a slew of mocap for the character. If there was ever a better time to be stupid, that was one of them, because it worked out in my favor completely to not understand what they were talking about in that moment. So because of that one discussion, I got invited back to the next year's Tokyo Game Show. And then before doing the game show, I stopped over at Osaka, where they do the mocap for Capcom. And we hammered it out in one day. It was a grueling 10 or 11 hour shoot. I remember losing like 8 or 9 pounds of water weight, but it was so worth it and so fun.
So you mentioned that, mocap was a bucket list dream for you. Was the experience different than you expected, or was anything about the whole process that surprised you?
What was surprising was how open they were to suggestion. It was always an open dialogue. Hey, like, if you want to tweak this move, or if you have any idea as to how to make this better, or how to make this feel more Alex, or how to make this feel more like you, they're opening to listening and opening to making multiple variations of maneuvers and specials and normals and things like that. That part I thought was really nifty. I know that in other games, it's just, you got to do it this way. This is the way we want it. This is the way it has to be. And until we get that way, you're going to keep doing it. But it wasn't like that at all. It was a mutual relationship of making this character together. That made it a lot of fun too. It was just being able to throw out suggestions and have them actually listen and have a discussion. Does this work for the game? You know, can we make this work? And some of the ideas, you know, were left on the cutting room floor, but for the most part, it's really cool to see that a lot of the ideas and a lot of the mocap that I did do that I suggested were actually used, because it was all a big mystery until the unveiling of Alex's gameplay trailer.
So how extensive was the actual capture session? Obviously, we see a trio of your signature moves in the alternate level 2 super, but beyond that, how much of you is actually in this character?
I would say most of his big buttons were me. A lot of some of the lights and such, someone else had done them. We had a very talented group of people. It wasn't just me there. It was myself. It was my good friend, Michael Nakazawa. They had a contortionist there just in case I really needed to fold someone up. And I unfortunately had to. There was a decorated amateur wrestler and mixed martial arts fighter as well. There was a team of all of us. They used me as much as they could for that full 10 hours or so. Whoever remained came back the day after and I guess just hammered away what was left.
So talking about that motion capture session, Capcom was actually gracious enough to provide us with some of the behind-the-scenes footage of the mocap recordings, along with the final product. So I was wondering, Genny, if we could show you some of these and have you react and give some insight as to what went down for all of these.
Yeah, please, sure. I'd love to see it.
All right, so here we have the walk-in animation after you select your character. Can you go a little bit through what your direction was for this?
So, you know, there was no direction, actually. It was, we'd almost wrapped, and I was almost ready to take that suit off, and it was just soaked with sweat. Everyone's all tired, and I said, like, hey, is there a chance that maybe I could do, like, the intro part? And like, what do you mean, like, the intro? Like, the character intro when you're on the stage? I'm like, no, like, the yeah part. You know, like, the yeah. And like, oh, yeah, let's do the yeah. And I said, is there anything in particular you'd like Alex to do? And he said, no. He said, he's a heel. Or in wrestling terms, is, you know, a bad guy. He's a bad guy, do bad guy stuff. So I was able to do my one taunt that I always do in my matches before I do my, you know, shaboom. I did like the fainting of the, you know, hit a fan, like, no, don't get near me, don't touch me. And I did like the old, I'm going to be a champ pose. I was just kind of tossing things out there. And I was surprised to see that all of it made it in. Like I said, they were always just so open to suggestion. And even if they didn't have it written down as a thing to do, they always would bounce back off of me. Hey, like, if you have an idea, let's just try it. Let's just get it on film. Let's see if it works. And we tried so many things, and I'm sure some of it will never see the light of day, but to get all of those opportunities to do the intros, the moves, the supers and all that, and have various options and things, it was such a fun experience. It was tiring, but so rewarding.
Is it weird or different to do this kind of stuff in a capture studio versus doing it with a live audience where people are reacting and you're feeding off the energy of the fans?
I would have said yes, but I think because of COVID, I got used to wrestling and performing in front of no one. It reminded me of kind of being back into an empty arena and just having cameras all around me, but there's no sound. There's no adulation. There's no people. I see, you know, staff here and there, but no, yeah, it brought back memories of the COVID era for sure.
All right, so next we're going to look at your level 1 super, the Raging Spear. So this is his level 1. Pretty simple. I don't think I've ever seen you use a spear before.
No, I've never used a spear before, which is why I had to ask, like, what kind of spear are we going for? Because there are so many variations of a spear, especially in wrestling. am I doing, a Lashley type of spear? Am I doing a Roman Reigns type of spear? Am I doing a Braun Breaker type of spear? A Michael Nakazawa spear? I don't know these types of things, and that I am not a American footballer, so I've never actually done a spear ever. But they kind of said like, yeah, this is kind of like the standard level 1 get off of me move. So just charge into the guy, make it quick, and they kind of wanted me to like touch the ground and go with it. So I said, okay, I'll touch the ground and I'll just go with it. I'll launch myself into this guy.
I mean, that looks pretty good to me. Is there any different, doing a move on a dummy versus a regular person? Like a move like this?
Yes, it is. There were so many times, I don't know if you have the footage of it or whatever, but things like clotheslines where you have to do, 50, 60, 70 clotheslines, full blast. I feel like, man, I started to develop this, like a bruise in my forearm and in my bicep. I was like, I don't want to tear anything, but I want this to look good. So I'm just reefing on this dummy over and over and over again. And it doesn't react like a human would. So you can't, it's more stiff. It hurts a lot more, I would say, rather than like the soft tissue of a human body. Yeah, working with a dummy is much different than it is working with a human, and much different than working with a wrestler who's possibly trying to help you cooperate with the move.
So we will get to those clotheslines, I believe, when we get to Special Art 3. But first, we got to look at Special Art 2, which is the big one. This is the Omega Wing Buster. So when you were initially like told about this super, like, did they tell you that you'd use the whole, trio of signature moves going into your finishing move, basically?
They just kind of wanted to make sure that the setup and the move itself were included. And I said, well, this is normally how I'd set it up. And I said, I don't know how long this has to be, but it's sometimes can go on for quite a while. I don't know how many, like, I don't want fans of the game or people that don't know anything about me or Alex or wrestling to have to sit there and watch this super long animation. So it's incredible that they're able to get the whole, Dragon, Gunpoint, V-Trigger, and the One-Wing Angel, One-Wing Buster in the game. And it doesn't seem like it takes an awful lot of time. It's really seamless. They did a great job with it.
How many times did you have to dump Michael Nakazawa on his head?
So many, to the point where he had to sit out for a second.
Really?
It was, I don't know if you can see it. Well, I guess you can kind of see it, but those mats that we're performing on there, there's next to nothing there. It's really hard. And I wanted it to look hard, because if they put a huge crash pad underneath us, I would have lost my footing. It wouldn't have looked good. And Nakazawa, he's not a complainer. He'll take anything. He won't complain about strikes. He won't complain about taking any bumps. He doesn't mind if it gets dropped in his head or whatever. But when you have to do a thing 10, 12, 15, 20 times, it catches up with you. So we had to sub him out, and that contortionist I told you about earlier, he subbed in, and I just felt terrible because, this guy isn't a wrestler. I know he's flexible, but let's just do one really good one so we can just like wrap it. I think I gave him like the most devastating One-Wing Angel of my entire career, and I think that's the one we went with. So I felt bad for him, but he was, in the end, happy that that was the take that we used.
All right, so let's take a look at the Special Art 3, or Level 3 Super. Now, this is the one you were talking about before. Oh, it's a chop, actually, not a clothesline.
I did both a chop and a clothesline.
The behind-the-scene footage that we got for this is just you doing the chop. Did you do any other kind of like, submission kind of motion capture, or were you told what the whole thing would look like?
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting. The reference footage and the reference pictures that they had were submissions that Josh Barnett had used.
Oh, cool.
Which, another famous mixed martial artist and professional wrestler. So there's a lot of influence, not only from myself, but other professional wrestlers as well, going into this character. I used to do competitive jiu-jitsu as well. So, I'm no stranger to submissions and how to transition in and out of them. There were a couple that I did not do. One of his, I think, standard throws where he grabs a key lock and kind of like trips him up. Mm-hmm. I think it might be his back throw. I did not do that one. A lot of the other stuff that I absolutely did, yeah.
Finally, as a longtime Alex player yourself, how do you feel about some of the changes that they've made to the character, from him no longer being a charge character to now having 11 throws that come out of this prowler stance?
Yeah. So part of the reason why I was hesitant to really devote myself to Alex in Street Fighter V was because he was a charge character. I'm not good at them, but I learned it just for the sake of being good with Alex. So for him not being a charge character anymore doesn't ruffle my feathers too much, but with so much knowledge to have to know with this character, that's the part I'm worried about. I mean, I'm getting old. I've been hit in the head numerous times. Is it going to even stick? Am I going to be able to like retain all this information? I don't know. I can kind of be a slow learner at times with fighting games. So I will main Alex and I will be good with them, but I just don't know if I'll be good with them real soon. But I will be eventually.
All right, well, I'm rooting for you, and that's all the time that we have. Alex comes to Street Fighter 6 on March 17th as the third character of Character Pass 3. Now, Kenny, normally the IGN host is the one to close out these videos, but I have to ask, because there's no one in the world who can do it better than you. Would you mind?
All right, folks, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you got a good little sneak peek at Alex. Hopefully you're looking forward to the character. Hopefully you're looking forward to Capcom Cup and everything that follows afterwards. Until next time, I must bid you adieu. So for now, goodbye, mwah, and good night. Bye-bye.
Coming up next, some terrifying monsters are descending upon IGN Fan Fest. Undead creatures, giant kaiju, blood-sucking creatures of the night. But perhaps the scariest thing of all is how badly this next game will get us hooked.
Because regular Vampire Survivors wasn't addictive enough, the developers behind it decided to make a game with similar amounts of roguelike chaos, but added deck building and dungeon crawling. Here's Vampire Crawlers, the turbo wildcard from Vampire Survivors.
Hello, IGN Fan Fest. If you're seeing this for the first time, this is Vampire Crawlers. It's everything you love about Vampire Survivors, but mashed into a turn-based deck builder. Look, we know what you're thinking. Turn-based? Sounds slow. Wrong. With our turbo turn system, you play as fast as you can think. And the best news? There's a fresh demo for you to try. Before you go, let's talk about how to truly break the game. Gems. You find gems inside dungeons, in treasure chests, or even as level up options. These aren't just stat boosts, they fundamentally alter how your cards work. You can always keep it simple, slaughter double damage to, well, double the damage of a card. Or make it complicated. Slot a combo reverse gem to reverse the combo counter direction to enable even longer combos. You can get a mana refund. You can put spicy sausages on every card. There are so many options that there's no wrong way to do it. You can also just aim for the ultimate power. Find the rare evolution gem, combine it with the right passive item, like the magic wand with the empty tome, and boom! Your card evolves into a weapon of mass destruction. But finding the right gems is all about luck, right? Not exactly. In the village, you can visit the jeweler. Here, you can alter the probability of which gems drop in the world. But the real game changer is next door, the blacksmith. Here, you can pay to add gem slots to your cards permanently. Even cards that start with 0 slots can be upgraded. Every time you find that card in a future run, it will have those extra slots ready to be broken. Why do you want more slots? Combining multiple gems can create chaotic situations. Take a simple vacuum. Use the blacksmith to add a gem slot to it. Now add a return gem. When you play it, you draw your cards, but you also get the card back in your hand instantly. You can play it twice without breaking your combo, doubling your drawing power. Or look at this Santa Water. It's powerful but expensive. We add a reverse combo gem and a mana rebate gem. Now, you drop the heavy hits, you get your mana refunded, and you reverse the combo counter, setting you up to unleash a chain of smaller cards in reverse order to keep your combo piling up. And finally, let's look at these two duplicator cards. They both cost 1 mana. We add to both of them a gem that reduces their mana cost and a gem that says, when played, draw another of this card. I play one, I get the other back. I play it, I get the previous one back. Infinite value, the perfect loop. Or is it? There are so many combinations waiting to be discovered, and we can't wait to see what crazy combos you come up with. The Vampire Crawlers demo is available to play right now on Steam and Xbox.
You are listening to The Failures, Album 8, Side A.
What do you think?
It's nice.
Nice?
Yeah, it's nice. I don't see Beyonce covering it, but it's nice.
Nice is nothing.
It's nice.
Nice is a balloon.
That you're back writing music.
A flower box
it's
is nice.
That you got yourself a nice place. It's a nice word, and it says everything I wanted to express. Don't be a bitch about it.
You should come visit. I have a space above the bed in one of the guest rooms I can't find a painting for.
Oh, a guest room. You want me to come and see your guest room?
It's an affluent neighborhood. Old money, young professionals, a smattering of Christ de Transform baby.
Good eating.
No potholes, no hurricanes, no witches. Everyone mangles French just like you do. Come to me.
Montreal. I am he, and he is me.
There's baggage here.
I get it. I get it.
Besides, there's an Olmsted Park nearby if I get homesick. And there's a garage band rehearsing across the street who call themselves, of all things, Satan.
They call themselves, of all things, Satan?
Satan's Night Out.
Satan's Night Out?
Out. Satan's Night Out.
Okay, makes sense.
Louis, do you know someone called Daniel Malloy?
I burned his laptop. I didn't know he had it saved in the cloud. I only found out it was coming out a month ago.
You have known for a month, and you talk about me in it to a mortal?
Well, yeah, but, you know...
No, I don't know, Louis. Please, explain yourself.
It's gonna be here and gone in a minute. No one reads anymore.
Lestat, il est genre whatever.
100%.
Mais Armand, il est genre mystérieux.
Ouais, il y a des layers.
T'as-tu vu sa toile au Louvre? Hey, toutes les boomers faisaient la file pour aller voir l'autre bonne femme avec sa resting bitch face. Moi, j'ai skippé de ça puis j'étais allée direct voir ma bella boy dans le coin de la salle. Je me le ferais. Faut que tu lances ça. Je le pognerais, je le mordrais.
Nature, bro.
Puis je le lècherais. Le Statman, il aurait dû le brûler, maudit français, sur Royal Street.
100%.
Combien mon wild, ce livre-là? Tu veux-tu devenir membre? Il y a 10% de...
No, thank you!
Wait, you don't feel it?
No. No, Kay, I don't feel anything. Okay, I definitely feel that. No, I feel it. Run! Run!
You're watching IGN Fan Fest. Remember that if you missed any part of the show this year, you can catch up quickly on IGN.com and IGN's YouTube channel. We'll be back with lots more IGN Fan Fest 2026 right after this break.
IGN Fan Fest is presented by Neverness to Everness and HyperX.
The average Cinefix movie list features nearly 100 different films and approximately 25 minutes worth of wall-to-wall deep dive analysis. To simulate that pace for this 30-second ad, we're featuring 26 different films, and before you say it, no, that math does not check out. We're not math people, we're movie people. We can't even count down from 10 without ending up at, like, 96. Subscribe to IGN Movies and TV for more Cinefix movie lists. Bad at math, great at movies.
Can't find that final collectible you're missing? IGN strategy guides and interactive maps are here to help.
One step at a time.
IGN guides are trusted by millions, easy to use, and best of all, free. IGN has the very best, most complete and accurate guides for Shadow of the Erdtree, Baldur's Gate 3, Tears of the Kingdom, and so much more.
See? It's good, right?
Every guide is tested and verified for you by experts. Just search for IGN when you search for guides.
IGN Plus is where your adventure begins.
What are you selling?
Plus is the place to get unlimited access to all the tools you need to beat your games.
Here's what you need to know for bringing down Gloomspawn.
Plus, awesome exclusive discounts on IGN Store.
Maybe this would tease open your money pouch.
Plus, ad-free browsing on IGN.com. Plus, unlimited game help tools like premium interactive maps with your own custom map markers, filters, marker notes, and more.
This will come in handy.
Plus, access to sweepstakes, giveaways, and free game keys.
Wow! Exactly.
Want more? Head to IGN.com/plus and start your adventure today.
Still asleep. Wakey, wakey, Aractigino and Bakey. Eyes up, cadets. I'm Lieutenant Sylvia Tilley. I'm on rotation in the Beta Quadrant with the third years. However, per the Chancellor, this class has been mandated for you, so you get me early.
Cadet Raimi, Lieutenant. May I ask what course this is?
Theater.
Oh Sorry, Lieutenant, what is theater have anything to do with?
8 out of 10 cadets ask that question. The other 2 become captains.
Captains don't do...
What if I told you that theater is one of the most powerful tools for social and political change? Theater is statecraft. Statecraft is theater. It's the kind of stuff you overachievers get all hot and bothered over. So chew on that till you get it. And it changes your life.
Please, change my life, Lieutenant.
Favorite. Homework. Find a play. I'll select one that suits our purposes. We will read it out loud, discuss, dissect. And for those of you still bristling with confusion and or resentment, I don't care.
You're watching IGN Fan Fest 2026. That was a look at Star Trek Starfleet Academy. One of the most anticipated games of the year is 007 First Light, a James Bond game from IO Interactive, a team that knows a thing or two about globetrotting agents with a license to kill, thanks to their work on the Hitman series.
Up next, here's a look at 007's next assignment, as well as a glimpse at what's next for Agent 47 in Hitman World of Assassination.
Plus a few more characters who like to live dangerously. Check it out.
First.
I am sometimes asked, Bafma, how is it that you hear every whisper in every corner of Aleph? And I answer, I built Aleph with my will, my blood, myself. This city is an extension of my being, my body, day, it became infected. And as we all know, if an infection is left untreated, the body can become rotten, sicken, and die. That infection? Greed. In Bakar Ali, once so loyal, greed grew unchecked, becoming a cancer. A cancer that threatened to weaken Aleph, endangering all of us, everything we have built. However, cancer, if caught early, can be cured. Or in our case, cut out and served on a platter. Easy, girls. Plenty of meat for everyone.
Girls. Of course.
Our old friend was just the appetizer. Did you really believe you could come here and poison Aleph's well of trust? I think not. Now, you die.
Good evening, 47. We have been tasked with eliminating Lilith Devereaux, the prospective new CEO of Ether Corporation. The target is currently attending an Ether fundraiser at the estate of parent company owner Gregory Carlisle. A relative newcomer to Ether, Devereaux has climbed the ranks quickly following the deaths of Neleus Duvall and chief scientists Silvio Caruso and Francesca DeSantis. Her meteoric rise has been generously sponsored by Gregory Carlisle, and there is rampant speculation in the business world that the two are having an affair. A faction within the Carlisle family sees Devereaux as a threat to their own power and has hired us to remove her from the picture. I have a sneaking suspicion of this being more than just a family feud, so be careful.
Monster's still out there. He has to die. I'll make sure he pays. Suffers. And nothing is going to stand in my way.
Having trouble finding the solutions. Don't worry about that. You just have to get yourself some new numbers. These solutions, they're not real. They're imaginary. That means even if you can't see the target, you can still shoot for it. So you're a mathematician now, a porter, a waiter, a candlestick maker, and a kleptomaniac.
Was a taker, now a giver.
Does Hodge's pocket watch keep good time? They say that it's the unconscious desire of every thief to be caught, that it's the fear of incarceration that gives freedom its currency.
The fundamental fault of man is to think the enemy is external, not internal. Prison is in here, not out there.
Hark at you with your art of war. James Moriarty.
Sherlock Holmes.
Hello, IGN Fan Fest. This is Jim Field-Smith. I'm the creator, director, and executive producer of Hijack. Check out this exclusive clip from our season finale, streaming March the 4th on Apple TV.
Linie U5, bei dem es sich vermutlich die heute Morgen geführte U-Bahn handelt. Was jetzt hier passieren wird, ist die große Frage.
There's no going back now.
Kill the lights. I don't want them seeing it. Listen up. I'm gonna kill the lights for your safety. Now, we are almost there. But you have to listen to my instructions. Because not one single person is safe till you are all off this train.
So we are getting off though, right?
Yeah, you heard him. We're just gonna have to stay calm.
Now, I know that you have been on this train for a long time, but this is the end of the line. I swear on my life. Okay? You will get off. You will.
Is all this for us?
Hey guys, this is it.
You just saw a bunch of really cool spies and action games featuring Hitman, 007 First Light, and more. We've got tons more awesome stuff coming up on today's show. In fact, there's so much that I can't even introduce it on my own. Give it up for my best friends at WoW, Women of Wrestling, Simply Skulls, Candy Crush, and Coach Campanelli!
Let's go! Top tier is here!
Thank you. Well, listen, what's up, everyone? We are from WoW, Women of Wrestling, and this is IGN Fan Fest. And since we've made it inside of the hallowed sacred halls of the legendary IGN, we have only one question.
Oh, yes, anything.
Where is the person who writes all of your reviews? I have a bone to pick with them. Let me at them. I'm gonna rip them limb from limb.
Oh, okay, actually, we have a wide variety of people who review video games, movies, and shows for us here at IGN.
Where are they? I'll smack some sense into them one by one. Just you watch me. Yeah, watch her.
But why? What did an IGN review ever do to you?
Well, one time I had a game that I really liked and I was excited for, and you gave it such a low score.
And you gave a movie that I didn't like too high of a score. And one time, there was this TV show that I thought was really good, and all my friends thought was really good, and you gave it a 7 out of 10. A 7 out of 10.
But 7 out of 10 means good on the IGN scale. That means we agree. We also thought it was good.
My bad. I guess I shouldn't have said things about ripping people limb from limb. I guess I'm sorry.
Oh.
It's just that a 7 is such a weird number. A 6 would be so much worse. An 8 would be so much better. 7, it kind of looks like a snake, but it means good. How does that make any sense? How are snakes good?
Yeah! We don't review reptiles or snakes or anything. Look, I get it. It's a lot, and I'm just glad we're all on the same page now. Apology accepted. Do me a favor, though. I need you all to channel the same passion and energy to tell our audience what's coming up today on IGN Fan Fest.
Okay, fine. Coming up in a bit, we've got a bunch of fantasy games, including Crimson Desert, Ark Survival, Ascended, and more!
And after that, we're diving into survival games like Solarpunk, Going Medieval, and Everwind.
But right now, get ready, because it's time to check in with some great titles with excellent animation.
IGN Fan Fest 2026, it's a 10 out of 10!
What did you say?
It's an opinion. I could be wrong.
We're the only 10 out of 10! Top tier!
Who are the chicks?
Ooh, those are two fine ladies you're holding. Ebony and Ivory. I based their portraits off of my own. Can't you tell?
I think I can work with these.
Found your old mercenary alias.
It's the most thoughtful gift anyone's ever given me.
ユンユン電波のおかげで心のドキドキが止まらないよ。このラブリーな言葉を電波で送信ユンユンするよ。え、どこに？インターネットにつながった世界のすべてよ。インターネットなんてゴミ箱みたいなものだし、ゴミを投下したところで問題ないかもね。私の味方は地球でユンユン一人だけだよ。好き好き好き好き大好き。ユンユンの素晴らしさを理解できない世界なんてくるくるになってぶっ壊れたらいいのに。電波進って
帽子のアトリエで主人公ココを演じている声優の本村玲奈です。皆さん IGN ファンフェス楽しんでますか？イエーイ。はい、今日皆さんに一番初めに見てもらうためにアニメとんがり帽子のアトリエの特別映像を用意しました。とんがり帽子のアトリエは魔法が人々の生活にあふれている世界で魔法への憧れを抱く小さな村の少女ココが魔法使いの青年キーフリーと出会い、魔法に隠された絶対の秘密を知ってしまったことから魔法使いの世界へと足を踏み入れていくという物語です。白浜かもめ先生が原作を手掛け、世界中で広く愛され多くのアワードを受賞している大人気壮麗ファンタジー作品になります。とんがり帽子のアトリエは4月からクランチロールで配信開始です。楽しみにしていてくださいね。では特別映像をお楽しみください。それではどうぞ。
いいな、魔法使いに生まれた人は。シーツよシーツ、空飛ぶマントになれ。待って、ダメ、そういう飛ぶじゃないの。羽場所だ。
You're watching IGN Fan Fest 2026, the first of many amazing gaming and entertainment events IGN will cover this year. In just a few months, we'll be holding another IGN Live, and then it's down to San Diego for Comic-Con, and then we're off to Germany for Gamescom, and after that, then it's probably time to start planning another Fan Fest or two. How many could we do? That's just off the top of my head. You know what? It might be a good idea to pace ourselves, so we're going to take a quick break. Stick around, there's more IGN Fan Fest still to come.
IGN Fan Fest is presented by HyperX and Neverness to Everness.
The Cinefix Top 100. A list so secretive even we don't know what movies are on it or where they rank.
What do you mean you don't know?
Each episode will reveal one of the movies.
Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed it. That was good, I liked it.
Talk about why it belongs and finally find out where it ranks.
Are you not entertained?
Are any of the movies we've shown here even on the list? I have no idea, and it drives me crazy. Join us as we find out on Cinefix, IGN, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Why so serious?
Catch up on all your favorite shows with up-to-the-minute gaming and entertainment news with Geek Media Podcasts.
Welcome to a very special episode of IGN Game Scoop.
Game Scoop has you covered for all things gaming and the latest game releases. Tune into Podcast Beyond for the biggest PlayStation news.
Man, this is a cool looking trailer.
Everything Xbox on Podcasts Unlocked.
This is Steve Downs, the voice of Master Chief.
Catch up with your Super Nintendos on Nintendo Voice Chat.
Switch to pre-order Mania. It was chaotic last night.
And get all the latest console news and rumors with Next Gen Console Watch.
Now Xbox and Phil Spencer are even saying that a mid-gen refresh isn't even necessary.
The Cinefix Top 100 podcast picks a movie every week to celebrate and debate.
It's kind of every movie's grandpa.
Geek Media Podcasts, the best podcasts from around the world.
IGN Playlist is the best way to track your game collection. Now you can even import your entire Steam library to Playlist, making it easier than ever to review games, show off your collection of the world, and finally chip away at that massive backlog you keep meaning to get to. IGN Playlist, check it out.
Can't find that final collectible you're missing? IGN guides are trusted by millions, easy to use, and best of all, free. IGN has the very best, most complete and accurate guides for Shadow of the Erdtree, Baldur's Gate 3, Tears of the Kingdom, and so much more.
It's good, right?
Every guide is tested and verified for you by experts. Just search for IGN when you search for guides.
You are watching IGN Fan Fest, a celebration of all the coolest things coming your way soon.
Just a reminder that over on the IGN store, you can find tons of shirts, gear, collectibles, vinyl, and other cool merch based on your favorite games and entertainment, like Expedition 33, Fallout, and a lot of exclusive items you won't find anywhere else. See for yourself at store.ign.com.
All right, back to Fan Fest. In just a bit, we've got brand new looks at awesome new games like Crimson Desert, Where Winds Meet, and a couple more surprises that you won't want to miss if you fancy yourself a fan of fantasy games.
But right now, it's time to check in on the gorgeous new fantasy action adventure games heading your way soon. Starting out with Ark Survival Ascended. Take a look.
Valorborn, the place where no destiny is chosen for you. Whether you're lurking in the shadows or rising as a protector, every choice has its consequence. But even when you think it's over, there still might be hope. Where you least expect it. Will you stand together or fall alone? Which path will you take? The choice is yours.
You have never fought a monster like this. Actually, you never fought a monster at all. Not in real life. What would happen if you, a normal person, had to survive an encounter with this fantastical predator? In Outward 2, we want you to think in-game the way you think in real life. The smart strategy is to avoid the fight altogether. But if that's not an option, you need to prepare accordingly. What would you do to stack the odds in your favor? I bet that some of you are thinking, I'd get a gun. Hey, that makes sense. You are more secure from a distance than up close against those talents. Traps would help too, but this is a fantasy world. Wouldn't you want to learn magic? Well, it's not that simple. You need to sacrifice a part of yourself to wield arcane powers. And you need regents for your rituals. But it's definitely worth it. Magic isn't everyone's cup of tea. You might prefer to craft some sturdy gear. The right equipment, wielded with skill, will make a difference. And if that's not enough, well, there's no shame in finding some help. In Outward 2, we pull no punches, but we give you all the tools to fight back. So many games out there will hold your hand. We won't. You will earn your victories through cleverness and grit. When you play an RPG, do you want to be powerful by default? To be the hero from a prophecy? Or would you rather live the harshness of an adventurer's life and learn how to survive and eventually thrive where many others have failed?
My name is Alec Newman, and I play Cliff.
My name's Stuart Scudamore, and I voice the part of Unka.
My name is Rebecca Hansen, and I play Damien. I suppose I never told you why I'm on the run, did I? So, Damien she's very down to earth, a fierce fighter, and headstrong. She will stand up for what she believes in, regardless of who is telling her otherwise. I can be willful, but I am naturally conflict avoidant. And so getting to, like, channel that side of myself into her was an absolute joy.
Unka, yes, he is. I see him as he is a nomadic warrior. I think he has a passion for everything that is fighting for the cause, for his people, for his tribe, and for the Greymaids. First impressions, you're thinking, what can I bring to the table that I can connect? What's the in? His DNA was very economical. And it's what you bring to the table and what they're offering, what the team are offering as well. And then you take off into the world that is Crimson Desert and that wonderful story. With the character of the Orc particularly, you're asked to give it a very bestial, very feisty, very bombastic, lower class postal code with regard to the delivery. But with Unka, what changed and what surprised me was that he was more of a philosophical Orc, educated, if you like. He had that sort of world-wise, nomadic element.
Do you want that rousing element still? Yeah. Bigger?
Yeah.
Okay, start, game.
Prepare yourselves to take back what was stolen. For our fallen brothers. Show no mercy. And what I found challenging for Unka is that he often communicated in grunt, but it was finding those levels of grunt, but finding that was challenging. Beautiful.
Some of my favorite moments recording for Cliff are when they just press record and let me try and match, you know, the sound for the fight sequences.
Your words reek of deceit, witch! Are you all right?
Aye. He's fiercely loyal, and you know he has a really strong moral compass. He knows what's right and wrong.
Is your life worth so little? I've no interest in your story.
There's no denying that he's very stoic. He is a man of few words. You could be forgiven for thinking that he's kind of, you know, a closed book, but when you meet him with other characters, particularly his Greymaids, his people, you begin to see him open out as a character a little bit. There was a particular family member. Almost immediately, I kind of lent into his voice, and instantly in the room, people responded. It seemed to just fit. The combat in the game, which we'll maybe talk about in a minute, which is absolutely astonishing. I've never seen anything like it. And having done some combat with broadswords and other weapons that appear in this game, there is a kind of imagination route into that element of Cliff.
Hey, I'm Miko. I'm the creative director at Skyward Entertainment.
And I'm Anton. I'm a game designer and community lead here at Skyward.
We're working on a new kind of action RPG called Second Stone. It's basically the game we've dreamt of playing for like, I don't know, 20 years or something. We imagined this game with all the vibes, all the spirit of the colorful games we remember playing as kids. Think of something as adventurous as Jak and Daxter maybe, but with swords, spells and rich RPG customization systems. We're honestly just trying to make the smoothest and most fun action RPG we can. So if you end up replaying the game just because you like how it feels, then I think we've done a good job.
The thing that makes Second Stone so special, at least for us, is that it feels like the classics we grew up with, but plays like a modern game. We try to draw inspiration from all the games we've played and loved throughout the years, so we might take a look at what made the early 3D platforming games so charming, analyze hit stops in fighting games to add a sense of impact to each attack, or just look at how Astrobot teaches you everything about the game without ever interrupting the fun. As a result, Second Stone has a bunch of different stuff you can really lose track of time with, be it exploring the world, tinkering with your build, doing another run in the roguelike temples, or just taking a break to play cards with the villagers.
Yeah, working on Second Stone has been such a fun and crazy journey. It's been like chasing the silhouette of our dream game or something like that. And yeah, it's quickly becoming this pretty wild and refreshing cool game that we can't wait to share with all of you.
When darkness hunts, heroes bleed. A predator born of the night. He feeds on terror. And drinks the strength of his victims.
Dampier is soon to awaken in Han Reborn. Heroes of New Earth Reborn is now in open beta, free to play. Join the fight at heroesofnewearth.com and prepare yourselves. Dampier awakens very soon.
Fans who love sinking their teeth into great survival games will be eating good soon enough. Here at IGN Fan Fest, we've got so much more cool stuff to show you coming up in just a sec, so don't go anywhere.
IGN Fan Fest is presented by Neverness to Everness and HyperX.
Hey you! Looking for a way to wear your fandom with pride? The IGN store is the ultimate destination for awesome merch and collectibles from the biggest games, movies, shows, and everything in between. Cruise the wasteland in style with a Vault Dweller hoodie and replica Pip-Boy. Whatever you're into, you're bound to find something. See for yourself and head to store.ign.com today. IGN Playlist is the best way to track your game collection. Now you can even import your entire Steam library to Playlist, making it easier than ever to review games, show off your collection of the world, and finally chip away at that massive backlog you keep meaning to get to. IGN Playlist, check it out.
Catch up on all your favorite shows with up-to-the-minute gaming and entertainment news with Geek Media Podcasts.
Welcome to a very special episode of IGN Game Scoop.
Game Scoop has you covered for all things gaming and the latest game releases. Tune into Podcast Beyond for the biggest PlayStation news.
Man, this is a cool looking trailer.
Everything Xbox on Podcasts Unlocked.
This is Steve Downes, the voice of Master Chief.
Catch up with your Super Nintendos on Nintendo Voice Chat.
Switched to pre-order Mania. It was chaotic last night.
And get all the latest console news and rumors with Next Gen Console Watch.
Now Xbox and Phil Spencer are even saying that a mid-gen refresh isn't even necessary.
The Cinefix Top 100 podcast picks a movie every week to celebrate and debate.
It's kind of every movie's grandpa.
Geek Media Podcasts, the best podcasts from around the world.
The Cinefix Top 100.
A list so secretive even we don't know what movies are on it or where they rank.
What do you mean you don't know?
Each episode will reveal one of the movies.
Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed. No, it's good. I liked it.
Talk about why it belongs and finally find out where it ranks.
Are you not entertained?
Are any of the movies we've shown here even on the list? I have no idea, and it drives me crazy. Join us as we find out on Cinefix, IGN, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Why so serious?
You're watching IGN Fan Fest. Coming up, we're taking a look at some games that are all about survival.
But first, a game where 10-year-olds are sent into the world on a totally unsupervised journey to capture and tame as many wild animals as possible. Sounds like a survival game, but I'm actually just describing Pokemon.
Pokemon is pretty intense when you think about it, and hey, if you're looking to get more intense about Pokemon battling, you should check out planetpokemon.com. This massive database of Pokemon lets you assemble the perfect team, digging into stats and picking the best strategy for different games. Head to planetpokemon.com to see for yourself.
But right now on IGN Fan Fest, some wild survival games have appeared. Take a look.
We are the penitent gardeners, pilgrims bound to the rails of a frozen world. Nothing is wasted on our quest for salvation. We take, we salvage, we bolt it together. Our makeshift convoy is our lifeline. The tracks, our path to redemption. Each stop draws us closer on our righteous journey. As our struggle grows harsher, we must repent.
So, you want to be a cult leader. First, you're gonna need followers.
Every stranger he met. There's a brighter life out there for me and you.
And followers need a place to live.
So join us tonight and let your starlight shine.
Go nuts. Give them a bunch of stuff to believe in.
Wagon train
Sky's the limit here.
to glory.
Make it yours.
There's a light in my soul, and it's time for these wheels to roll. On the wagon train,
And don't let your followers all die.
it's your start of mine. We'll be dazzling down the line. On the wagon train.
Because, trust me on this, a cult leader with no followers is just a lonely weirdo.
It woke without warning. Decades of silence erased in a single night. Roads vanished, the city followed. People after that. We're cut off from any help, but ruins keep what they take. Look closely, Frank. Beneath the ash and fire, something endures.
Watch out.
We need any supplies, Frank. Keep your eyes wide open. Check everything. Nothing goes to waste. And if there are still people out there, we find them. They mean hope for our station.
Another day in hell.
Are you ready?
Where are you? Living fucking fire! Shit! I'm coming for you! Where are you?
Stay with me. Got her, William.
Danger's rising. Evacuate.
Roger that.
We bring them here. We hold this place together. Long enough to move people through. Long enough to get some of them out.
thoughtless men wouldn't take by me, and never leave your happy homes to sail the raging sea. For I have plowed the raging main this 20 years or more, but now I'm turned adrift to starve upon my native shore. By raging storms and tempests, shipwrecked 3 times I've been, and many a bloody battle upon the seas I've seen. I've seen the cannons glaring flash, I've heard its thunderous roar. Though now I'm turned adrift to starve upon my native shore. Should Starfleet's venture upon the raging main, through hearts of oak we British tars will push the sea again. Come pity temple strangers, a luckless British tar. In your defense he may have hurled the thunderbolts of war. All hands! Come lend some kind assistance, and heaven will bless your store. For now I'm turned adrift to starve upon my native shore.
Now, usually, ninjas are all about stealth, lurking in the shadows, and generally trying their best to not be seen.
Unfortunately, that's not going to fly here at IGN Fan Fest. After all, it's a big, loud celebration all about drawing attention to some of our favorite stuff.
And our favorite stuff includes ninjas.
Also, ninjas aren't the only things lurking in the shadows here at FanFest. Later today, we'll be shedding light on new gameplay from LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight.
But first, ninjas.
Show us the ninjas already!
Fret not, we will be keeping our promise of showing you more on the upcoming LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight real soon in an interview with the developers of the game. You're watching FanFest 2026 right here on IGN. We need to take a quick break, but don't go anywhere because there's lots more still to come. Stick around.
IGN Fan Fest is presented by HyperX and Neverness to Everness.
Hey you! Looking for a way to wear your fandom with pride? The IGN store is the ultimate destination for awesome merch and collectibles from the biggest games, movies, shows, and everything in between. Cruise the wasteland in style with a Vault Dweller hoodie and replica Pip-Boy. Whatever you're into, you're bound to find something. See for yourself and head to store.ign.com today.
Catch up on all your favorite shows with up-to-the-minute gaming and entertainment news with Geek Media Podcasts.
Welcome to a very special episode of IGN GameScoop.
GameScoop has you covered for all things gaming and the latest game releases. Tune into Podcast Beyond for the biggest PlayStation news.
Man, this is a cool looking trailer.
Everything Xbox on Podcasts Unlocked.
This is Steve Downes, the voice of Master Chief.
Catch up with your Super Nintendos on Nintendo Voice Chat.
Switch to pre-order Mania. It was chaotic last night.
And get all the latest console news and rumors with Next Gen Console Watch.
Now Xbox and Phil Spencer are even saying that a mid-gen refresh isn't even necessary.
The Cinefix Top 100 podcast picks a movie every week to celebrate and debate.
It's kind of every movie's grandpa.
Geek Media Podcasts, the best podcasts from around the world.
The Cinefix Top 100. A list so secretive even we don't know what movies are on it or where they rank.
What do you mean you don't know?
Each episode will reveal one of the movies.
Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed. No, it was good. I liked it.
Talk about why it belongs and finally find out where it ranks.
Are you not entertained?
Are any of the movies we've shown here even on the list? I have no idea, and it drives me crazy. Join us as we find out on Cinefix, IGN, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Why so serious?
Jeffy, my man, what's up? What you Oh. Are you supposed to be like a video game expert or something?
What?
Did you mean to die there? Look, I haven't played a game in a long time because I'm too busy winning championships, but I'm pretty sure that when the screen says you died in big letters, that's bad.
Yeah, okay, look, we just got this game. I've never played it. I thought I'd check it out while
Excuses.
Aren't you supposed to be good at video games to work at IGN?
Thank you. Hey, you got any tips for him?
Yeah, coach tip number 401. Do it again, but with a little less suck. Jabroni.
Okay, we're just messing with you. You're not that bad, brother.
Wait, really?
Yeah, solid 4 out of 10.
Oh, that's not bad. Well, actually, that is technically bad on the IGN scale. But hey, look, if you're like me and you die a lot in games and also hate getting bullied for it, I think you'll want to check out these simulator games. Generally, you can't die in those. Take a look.
Hi, I'm Andre, executive producer at Grip Studios. Today, I would like to introduce you to our game, Ranger's Path National Park Simulator. Ranger's Path is a simulation game about everyday responsibilities of a national park ranger. The game takes place in a Fairmont National Park, a vast, handcrafted landscape inspired by the real U.S. national parks. Your workdays are shaped by routine tasks like clearing trails, repairing damaged objects, or helping visitors find their way through the park. At the same time, you stay connected to the ranger station. Through your radio, you receive information about spontaneous situations in the park and decide which call-out you want to respond to. Alongside your daily work, main missions guide your journey and unlock new areas of the park. You might relocate a bee colony near a campsite or track a missing VIP through the wilderness. Exploration also plays a major role in Ranger's Path. As you move through the park, you'll discover national landmarks like caves, lakes, and waterfalls. You document them using your Ranger camera and add them to your personal lexicon. You also observe wildlife in its natural habitat and photograph animals and plants to unlock new entries and museum exhibits. Ranger's Path launches in early access on PC on March 10, 2026. We are starting with a solid foundation and plan to expand the game with new features, tools, and content over time. And if you want to see what it's like to be a park ranger, you can play our demo on Steam right now.
Bus Simulator 27.
Wishlist now.
Adventure time, come grab your boing loings, we'll go to very interesting boing. Ooh, a pizza party! Don't mind if I... What do you mean I'm not invited? Take that, haha, and that! Next time you'll think twice before you mess with... Who the heck are these guys? I didn't even know Princess Bubblegum had a cleaning crew. Hey, I put good work into ruining that treehouse. Is that you, Jake? Quit being so helpful. I can't take credit for this mess. Finn and Jake are just total slobs. Hey, what have you done to my castle? My skins and tubs. My princess jail. I mean, guest room. Wank. Well, maybe you're right, Gunter. It is nice to have the place sparkly clean. Yeesh, this stuff is everywhere. Okay, maybe I went a little overboard with the dirt. But you all forgive me, right? Right? That was incredible, but I'm still not tipping you.
A noble lady doth approach with upturned nose and glittering brooch. She fools the guard with a glamorous hand. But a dicky died of stuff to the mouth with contraband. The gate protects our faith. The gate will keep us safe, provided the gate isn't guarded by a moron. The peasant pulls a rusted cart. The cheese he's carrying smells like fart. He probably prized two nuns apart and made it from the shavings. The gate protects our faith. The gate will keep us safe, provided the gate isn't guarded by a moron. Provided the gate isn't guarded by a moron.
Sorry.
Welcome to IGN Fan Fest 2026. I'm Casey DeFreitas, and today we'll be taking a tour of 3 bases you'll encounter in Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection. Please welcome director, art director, and lead game designer of Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection, Kenji Oguro, Takahiro Kawano, and Daisuke Wakahara. Also joining us is Daiki Tsuchida to translate for us today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, nice to meet you all. Thanks for having us.
Thank you all so much for joining us today. I'm really excited to watch the video that you have prepared for us. Can you very quickly describe what we're about to see?
はい。今作の、
Okay, so today the video we are going to watch will feature 3 locales that the protagonist and his fellow rangers will visit during the game, starting off with Azuria, and we have other locales that I would like to introduce in today's video. In the game development process, we first start off with crafting the concept art or the art design, and then following the art design, we implement that into the actual game itself. So in this video, you'll see the concept art followed by how the concept art actually turns out in game. So please look forward to it.
ご覧いただいて皆さん楽しんでもらえたらなと思います。よろしくお願いします。
So let's get a first look at Azuria.
本当にいわゆるこう
So first off, we are showing the concept art for Azuria Castle. In the design process, we wanted to make the stereotypical fantasy castle type of design to depict how peaceful Azuria is and to depict the beautiful nature of the Azuria, world of Azuria, and the castle itself.
But was there any specific region that the architecture was inspired by?
For the castle design, they based it off of a Spanish castle named Alcazar Castle, and the surrounding environment, they had some inspiration from Lake Leman. They did have some actual real world inspiration, and that made its way to the concept art. And then something that is unique to Monster Hunter Stories is that to depict the bond with Rathalos in Azuria, you can see throughout the castle, you'll see like wing-like fabric stretched upon the castle. So those flags or fabric represent the wings of Rathalos. And also throughout the castle, you'll see that there's actually like an airport for the monsters to take flight. So you'll see that later on in this video.
ここは国王との
This is the main hall located inside the castle where you see the king and queen of Azuria. So actually, if you look at this cutscene, you'll see in-game, you'll see all the details that were put into like the chairs, the fabric, the tapestries throughout the hallway. And then one thing to note, on the left-hand side of the king right now in the scene, you'll see this lantern, which is actually just like a shining crystal. One of the key concepts of Monster Hunter Stories 3 is that there is a crystal encroachment, which is engulfing the world, which is unknown. The reason why the crystal encroachment is happening is unknown, but residents of Monster Hunter Stories 3, they actually use the crystal to get some lighting inside the buildings, such as this scene right here. Alright, so the next concept art we have here is the main square of Azuria Castle. So this is the most lively place within Azuria Castle. We wanted to make this place very lively and beautiful to depict how peaceful Azuria is. So you'll see in this concept art there is a fountain right in the middle, and around the fountain you'll see many shops including the smithy, other item shops, and in-game you'll actually see a bunch of NPC characters walking throughout the square. So that's one of the things we wanted to implement in Monster Hunter Stories 3. You'll see NPC characters walking. You might be able to encounter some funny dialogue and monologue amongst the NPCs.
はい、ここは、レンジャーの
This next concept art we have here is the Ranger Station. So this is where the protagonist and his fellow Rangers come to have meetings and have some tea and whatnot here. As you can see, like in the middle of the concept art here, you'll see the map of Azuria. The Rangers use this map to strategize and plan their next actions. So each character of the Ranger Squad, they have their own chairs and places within this station here. The Vice Captain of the Ranger Corps, Gal, takes care of the weapons and sharpens them at the very back chair. On the right-hand side, close to the window, you'll see like a bunch of stones and stash there. So that is what Ogden, he is the walking encyclopedia of the Ranger Corps. He keeps all his stash over there, so it's pretty messy. And then on the left-hand side, we have the kitchen. So this is where Eleanor, she is the Princess of Brumil. She joins the protagonist Ranger Squad later on in the game, but this is where Eleanor cooks for the team. And we have Thea. She is the newest ranger who joined the Corps recently, and she does not have a chair yet, but she loves to run around in the fields in the far back. And lastly, Simon, he is the best friend of the protagonist. He tends to just sit in whichever chair is open, and he loves to read. Okay, so this next concept art we have here is actually placed right beside the Ranger Station that we saw earlier. So this is basically the airport of Azuria Castle, where both the Rangers and the aerial unit, aerial squad, takes off to do some patrolling around the area. And as you can see in the concept art here, when the Rangers or the aerial unit are resting, they have the Legiana rest beside the airport here, and they also take care of like the equipment while they are resting.
セプトアートは、
So next we have the concept art of the conference room where the people of Azuria and Vermeil, the country next to Azuria, have their first conference at the beginning of the game. So on the right hand side, you can see that it's very bright, close to the window, has good lighting, and that is where the Azuria members are sitting, while the left hand side, it's actually pretty darker compared to the right hand side. That is where the people of Vermeil are sitting. So the reason why we wanted to have Azuria on the brighter side and Vermeil on the darker side, this actually portrays the situation of the two countries. So as mentioned earlier, Azuria is very peaceful, very beautiful place. But on the other hand, Vermeil is facing some turmoil because of the crystal encroachment. So we wanted to have a darker lighting on the Vermeil folks to show the contrast between the two countries. On the middle of the table, you'll see that there's a lot of grape juice and some food set on the table. So that is to depict how prosperous Azuria is compared to the people of Vermeil.
ここは、犬森
So next we're moving on to the next locale, which is called the Shepherdin. This is the first village that the protagonist and the Ranger Corps will visit after crossing the Meridian into the Forbidden Lands. One key feature of this area is that monsters from Monster Hunter Rise inhabit the Shepherdin and the area around it. Based on Monster Hunter Rise, it has a very Eastern Asia-like taste. So the Shepherdin and the surrounding area is also designed after that art style. And then regarding the Shepherdin village itself, as you can see in this concept art, it is actually placed on top of a very dangerous plateau, as you can see, with waterfalls and steep cliffs. So the reason why the residents of Shepherdin ended up in this place is because they had to flee from their homes for safety, and thus they wanted to have like a fort that will protect themselves from outside dangerous existences. So they ended up creating this village on top of a very steep cliff.
じゃあこのコンセプトアートに関しては、
This concept art featuring the elder of the village, Cole's house. So you can see Cole's house on top of the stairs in the middle of the concept art over here. Right beside the end of the stairs, you'll see this gate. This is designed after the Japanese torii gate. And then right beneath the torii gate, you'll see some masks stuck into the ground. And these masks actually represent graves of the former elders of the village. So the elders are actually resting right beneath the torii gates. And the next concept art we have here is the ranger station based inside the Shepherdin. So this is not like a permanent station. They're just borrowing some space from the residents of Shepherdin. In the far back, you can see, maybe you can see it better in game, but you'll see Ratha. He is actually stuck in like this very small stable, because the stable, that was not a stable at the first place. It was just like a vacant residence of the Shepherdin village. But they didn't have any space for Wrath to rest in, so he just ended up in there. And on the left-hand side, you'll see a very simple kitchen, which is made out of basically dirt. So that's where the rangers have to like cook their meals and prepare for their next adventure.
I did want to ask, is Shepherdin a play on words? Is like Shepherd Den because of the people's reverence for Pelamites there?
正直申しますと、我々やっぱり英語は。
So unfortunately, we don't have any localization team members present in today's interview. So we're honestly unsure of how they came up with the English name Shepherdin. But our localization team, they really love to play with words around, as you can see in the Monster Hunter series. So there should be a reason why they ended up naming this place Shepherdin.
狙いが当たってるんじゃないかなというふうに推測します。
As mentioned earlier, the crystal encroachment is putting residents of the world into danger. However, in this particular region, the residents of Galliard actually take advantage of the crystal encroachment in that they sell the crystals for goodies and make money off of the crystal encroachment. So as you can see, Galliad as a city, it looks very prosperous with many decorations, stones, jewelry throughout the city itself and the buildings. But if you go deeper into the city here, there is a steep boundary between the prosperous residents and the not so prosperous residents. So in parts of Galliad, you might actually find like a slum area to differentiate the prosperous outside versus the inside of Galliad. So here we have the main square of Galliad. So in the middle, you can see the Lagertris statue decorated in lots of jewelry. If you look around the city itself, it is inspired like from the Mediterranean regions. So if you think about the Mediterranean area, you'll probably think about like beautiful buildings next to like the ocean, the sea. But in Galliad, you don't see that. Actually, there is a reason why Galliad is so barren, in that Galliad used to be a ocean port city that was floating on top of the ocean. So all the jewelry and the decorations were based off of like the Mediterranean Sea. But desertification has caused the city to lose all the water, and it is currently barren, sandy. So that is the reason why there's a difference between the decorations and the actual cityscape itself.
Thank you so much for giving us that in-depth look at 3 of the hubs in Monster Hunter Stories 3. I will definitely be one of those people enjoying Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection when it comes out on March 13th. Thank you so much to Sujita-san, Ogura-san, Kawana-san, and Wakahara-san for this in-depth look at the rapidly approaching Monster Hunter Stories 3. We'll of course be covering more on Monster Hunter right here, so keep it locked on IGN.
IGN Fan Fest is presented by Neverness to Everness and HyperX.
The average Cinefix movie list features nearly 100 different films and approximately 25 minutes worth of wall-to-wall deep dive analysis. To simulate that pace for this 30-second ad, we're featuring 26 different films, and before you say it, no, that math does not check out. We're not math people, we're movie people. We can't even count down from 10 without ending up at, like, 96. Subscribe to IGN Movies and TV for more Cinefix movie lists. Bad at math, great at movies.
Can't find that final collectible you're missing? IGN strategy guides and interactive maps are here to help.
One step at a time.
IGN guides are trusted by millions, easy to use, and best of all, free. IGN has the very best, most complete and accurate guides for Shadow of the Erdtree, Baldur's Gate 3, Tears of the Kingdom, and so much more.
See? It's good, right?
Every guide is tested and verified for you by experts. Just search for IGN when you search for guides.
IGN Plus is where your adventure begins.
What are you selling?
Plus is the place to get unlimited access to all the tools you need to beat your games.
Here's what you need to know for bringing down Gloomspawn,
plus awesome exclusive discounts on IGN Store.
Maybe this would tease open your money pouch.
Plus ad-free browsing on IGN.com. Plus, unlimited game help tools like premium interactive maps with your own custom map markers, filters, marker notes, and more.
This will come in handy.
Plus, access to sweepstakes, giveaways, and free game keys.
Wow! Exactly.
Want more? Head to IGN.com/plus and start your adventure today.
You're watching IGN Fan Fest 2026. In 2023, writer-director Lee Cronin gave new life to the Evil Dead franchise with Evil Dead Rise, and later this year, he's resurrecting another film franchise full of walking corpses and ancient curses, The Mummy. Take a look.
الكاميرا بسرعة.
أعوذ بالله.
Hello, Sheriff.
Eat ball! You're a slippery little fishy, ain't ya? God damn it! Stay down! What the hell, man?
What is wrong with you people? What else would you have? Meat tenderizer. That's a good weapon, right? People are made of meat. Yeah, we had a lot of fun making the action sequences here.
Jesus.
That's not where I was aiming.
Normal is the story of Ulysses, who becomes the interim sheriff of the small, sleepy town of Normal, Minnesota, where everything is normal. It stars Bob Odenkirk, and among the cast are Henry Winkler and Lena Headey. Yep, all three very normal characters who are played by actors who always play normal, unchallenging, face value characters who aren't hiding anything at all, and it's all very regular and normal.
Life in Normal is quiet, peaceful, predictable. Until it isn't.
Why are they shooting at you? Okay, I think we all know that's not true. Normal is an action-packed thriller with black comedy moments and explosive surprises. Here to talk to me about it are the star and co-writer Bob Odenkirk, co-writer and producer Derek Kolstad, and producer Mark Provenzero. Thanks for coming in.
How about that, Derek? I got a writing credit.
I know.
just
Geez,
now.
if we're now going to change it.
Here's the deal. I helped with the story, but Derek came up with the story, and I just assisted. And I appreciate that he gave me that nod. But Derek wrote the screenplay.
Director Ben Wheatley has called Normal an inverse of High Noon, and I've also seen the comparison to Bad Day at Black Rock, both classic westerns. Do you see this as neo-western, and what were you envisioning when you were creating it?
Well, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Spencer Tracy and those old movies of Guy Walks Into Town, you know? And Bad Day at Black Rock was the first one, and the second one was Stepford Wives, you know, of kind of going, everything looks a little too clean, a little bit too on the nose. And Bob and I just had fun then dismantling our way into this world. And ultimately, we're a huge fan of the postmodern Western. That's what this is.
I also think the Clint Eastwood movie, High Plains Drifter. There's a town. They need his help. They're all a little sketchy. Can he rely on them? It's one of my favorite films. I mean, all those early Clint Eastwoods I love. It is a modern Western for sure. And Ben Wheatley certainly envisioned it that way.
Something about Ulysses is he has a reputation for having a laissez-faire attitude. He doesn't ask too many questions, doesn't put his nose into things. He says things are easier if he cares a little less. So that's not necessarily the case, but can you talk about what's interesting about that kind of character and the journey to caring?
He's a guy who has lost faith in his own instincts. So as a result, he's in this town and there's some things that are off. You could tell he notices them, but you can also tell that he's sort of seemingly compartmentalizing them or just ignoring them. But in the end, he cannot ignore them. So it's an interesting guy who needs to regain the faith in his own judgment. And a lot of action movies are very simple in their structure, which is really one of the joys of them. But I just like this one because it had this texture and this opening chapters where Ulysses is becoming slowly aware of something wrong with this town.
Do you see some of Hutch from the Nobody movies in Ulysses at all?
I mean, both guys are, for different reasons, holding back their reactionary impulses. In the case of Hutch, he's doing it to present as a family man and to live that life, to live a double life, forcing himself to hold that in. So that's Nobody. In Normal, here's a guy who's a little bit broken when we meet him. And it's because he made a choice once before that just destroyed his life that he had, his perfect life. And so he's just gotten gun shy. But believe me, by the end of the movie Normal, he's not gun shy any longer. Is he gun crazy?
A little bit.
He's a little bit gun crazy.
Speaking of Nobody, you as a trio have worked as star, writer, and producer, respectively, on Nobody, Nobody 2, and now Normal. What made you decide to focus on a new original story at this point in your partnership?
On the first Nobody, there was a 2 hours where they were driving a bus around the city and Bob was being shot, and he and I were on the bus. And Mark said, "So what else are you working on?" I was like, "I wrote this thing last night." And it was Normal. And he's like, "That's awesome." I was like, "Yeah, maybe, you know." And then 6 months later, years later, and finally Bob and I had a break in our schedules and we're like, "Do you want to go do that one?" And that's how it came about.
You said I wrote this last night?
The treatment.
Wow.
So a lot of times I'll write a treatment over the course of 6 hours. It tends to be between 15 and 30 pages, but it's just, I hike, I walk, I run, I Peloton, all that kind of stuff, and I'm writing in my head. So by the time I'm sitting down to type, it's just, here it comes, you know?
We thought it would be fun when Derek came up with this concept that we flipped to for Normal. We thought it would be fun to do something outside the studio system. And we thought about what would make for a very appealing film to see in the theaters rather than building something for a streamer. There's very different approaches. I remember when first time I saw John Wick in the movie theater, I said, "Holy this is so fun." And I've gone to the movie theater every single time to see the sequels with my friends. And so we think about how can we build something that evokes the same response from people.
On that note, I mean, Derek and Mark, how did you know Bob would be good at this?
They didn't know that.
Well, we had, our thesis was people around the world genuinely love watching Bob play a character that gets out of really bad problems with using his mouth. Wouldn't it be fun? Would people enjoy if they watched him use his fist to get out of problems?
Can you talk about your partnership with Bob and balancing comedy, action, and all other genres?
The biggest struggle we had was moving into the action space was no one took us seriously. The first time we went into the agency, there were 14 people in the room. Better Call Saul was a global hit. They had to pack the room with agents. People were stifling their laughter literally when we were telling them we're going to turn Bob into an action star for a studio film. And I don't blame them for that. Who could expect that to actually happen? They kept on sending us comedy writers. We kept on saying, as Bob would say best, you know, we need someone who knows how to write the third act of an action movie. And we did not know how to do that. And thank God the writer, the creator of one of the greatest action franchises generationally was also a comedy nerd fan and completely got, right the first time we talked to him about it, there was no like overcome. One thing we went out of our way to overly accentuate was we did not want, people were going to assume if they saw Bob at that time in a movie like this, that it was going to be an action comedy. And that was really important for us to over accentuate that it was a dramatic film and an action film. And then, yes, you were going to laugh within that, but we needed to make that distinction really clear.
I didn't need to learn to fight. I could have had some stunt guy who's shaped like me do all my fighting. But I didn't learn that till years later after I trained. No, it's not true. I like doing my own fighting. And if I'm doing my own fighting, they can keep the camera on me and I can play the guy. I can do his expressions. I wanted to play a guy who actually got hurt, who actually got worn down as you watch the movie. He gets tired, he gets hurt, he gets dinged up. Because I just feel like that is actually not something you've seen a lot of. Action stars that I know of, I don't know all of them, but the ones that I know are somewhat, they're machines. They never really get hurt. There's no, they never accrue damage. And I wanted to play a guy who, in these movies, starts with a little bit of self-doubt and also accrues damage along the way.
Derek, we already brought up John Wick, so now I have to ask. You are the creator of the John Wick franchise and several action-heavy hitters on top of your work with Bob and Mark. Can you tell me what is the key to creating character-driven action movies that stand out among the rest? And is it helping dogs?
Dude, and the number of people that in the past have said, I turned off that movie at that point, and then someone said you should watch the rest of it. I'm a huge dog lover, so what I would say is my favorite action movies begin and end with the main character. You care about them, you give a shit, you know. And one of the best intros to a character ever is still Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark. You're introduced from behind, and he, you know, uses his whip, and he has the cat and the jacket, and then he loses and runs away and loses, and you're like, I love this guy. There's some sort of like self-aware empathy at play, you know. And when it comes to the action heroes I love, they're not the best at what they do. They get up, they have will, they move forward, you know. You look at Riggs in the first couple of Lethal Weapon movies, he gets his ass handed to him, but he wills himself through to win. And ultimately, when he talks about sketch comedy, I talk about action, we kind of connect on the standpoint that they're very similar, an action scene and a sketch. You know, you got to have moments of humor, you have moments of character, because action is really an extension of the hero's journey. And ultimately, it's why we go back to watch certain movies over and over and over again. It's because it's like, you know, revisiting an old friend. So we love the people that we're creating here, and we just want to root for them.
One of my favorite scenes involves an unconventional weapon, a meat tenderizer hammer.
When I love stunt guys, you know, we actually spend a lot of time with the second unit just because it's more fun. But ultimately, when you write a scene and Bob and I imagine some stuff, what's on the page is meant to invigorate the stunt guys. And then you also say to them, but do your thing, you know? And so there are elements that are in the script that make it. Like there's a scene in the red circle in the first John Wick where John shoots this guy in the foot and he reacts and leans forward and John shoots him in the head. That's in the script. And I was like, oh! But then there's another scene where John grabs this guy, slams his head down, just unloads in his face. And I'm like, that wasn't in the script, but I was in the audience going, hoo, hoo, hee, hee. And with nobody, and with Normal especially, because we had a little bit more flexibility, it would be like, hey, instead of that, why don't we try this? What haven't we seen before? And yet not make it tongue-in-cheek, but it would make sense why a meat tenderizer would win against a knife.
We were stuck in that kitchen.
Yeah.
It was a thin space to work in, which is good and bad. I mean, whenever you've got a limitation, it inspires you, and of course you're like, oh, we can't go anywhere in here. But it's both, you know. And so you got the stove, you got drawers with in them, you've got, you know, shelving you can pull out. We needed something. I mean, this guy's got a knife, and there's a gun at play at a certain point in that scene. And what else would you have? A meat tenderizer. That's a good weapon, right? People are made of meat. Yeah, we had a lot of fun making the action sequences here, and a lot of inventiveness from everyone, certainly from the script, and then from Greg Rementer, and from the stunt guys, and from Ben Wheatley, and from Greg Rementer in the big battle between the Yakuza and the townspeople.
Do you think there's room for Normal 2? Is this the beginning of a new franchise?
I hope so. Because
he's still alive at the end.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of movies you watch, and you kind of care about the cowboy who goes off into the sunset to see what he does in the next town over. And here we have enough like seedlings of ideas that are kind of planted throughout this first one that we can bring it to harvest if we want.
I would love to do this guy again.
Yeah.
I just love getting to play a person with a past who's lived some life and is weathered by that and has to live with those regrets, has to forgive himself, has to carry on, because that's more who I am. And so I love playing Ulysses. Yeah, I would love to play him again.
All right, everyone, that is unfortunately all our time, but you can catch Normal in theaters this April, where it will be Magnolia Pictures' widest release to date. Have a real normal one, but I mean the kind of normal without any fiery explosions. Bye.
punch!
Who has the best chance of survival in Primal? Is it Samurai Jack, Dexter, or Dracula? Primal's newest season is finally here, and it's well on its way with a new undead twist. Joining me in the IGN studio is show creator Genndy Tartakovsky, who is here to answer all of our burning questions. Welcome to IGN Fan Fest.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, so let's jump right into it. For those watching who are looking to get into Primal for the first time or just learning about the show now, what is Primal?
Primal is a visceral, visual show about a caveman and a dinosaur who bond over this shared tragedy that they experience, and they find a way to become a new family and survive the horrors of the world.
Amazing. Now, Spear is back this season as a zombie. What made you want to revive the character after his end in season 2?
Well, basically, I thought, you know, at the end of season 2, that was kind of it, and I wanted Primal to be kind of everlasting, so I thought about having it to be like an anthology show. And then, you know, what happens is during production, you know, it takes us like 2 years to do a series, and then it comes out and people watch it in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks. So the timing that I live with it versus people who watch it is very different, right? Mm-hmm. And so I spent a lot of time with it, and then you kind of feel, you know, production is sometimes difficult and it's everything that I love to do, but still it's hard. And so I feel like I'm finished with it. But then after I take a little break, I realized, oh no, it's still so fresh. And then the response is really strong. And then you start to think about like, oh, I just spent 20 episodes getting to create these characters and for people to really like them. And then I kill one off and then it's the end of the show. So then I realized it's too early, you know, and then what do I do now? And then basically this idea popped up. And initially the idea is like, oh no, it's kind of almost like a joke. But then as I started to think about it, all these amazing story elements and emotional elements came out. And then, you know, for everything that I've ever done, I've always just trusted my gut. And then my instinct said like, yeah, this is good. And then I talked to the team and pitched it to everybody and everybody was on board.
Amazing. Now, what sort of challenges come with bringing a character back from death? Are there any new opportunities as well?
Yeah, it was basically it's all fresh, right? And what's exciting, because it's the 3rd season, if you're watching the show, you've seen the first 2 seasons and you're already attached to it, right? You like the characters. And now we have the situation where you can really cheer for the character because he's reborn, but he doesn't know who he is, right? So now there's this journey of the audience cheering and hoping that he's going to become the person that they love.
Yeah. Now, at CCXP this last year, you stated that there were some scrapped ideas for an anthology series. You just mentioned it as well in this interview. Can you tell us a little bit about what those look like?
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the ones I wanted to play around with creation, right? So it would be like this alien world, and there's this orange furry woman that's born, or female-like that's born, and then she meets a blue male, and they're created in this kind of, crazy world, and they have to find a way to mate and be together and survive, right? And the world was all imaginary and or fantasy, and with all these different creatures and everything, and it felt like different than Primal, but at the same time, it was like, okay, what horrors do they face now? Nature and nurture and all these things, and it felt, I don't know, it didn't click. And sometimes I have a lot of ideas like that. Like I have an idea that I'm initially really excited about, but if I can write down 10 episodes right away, right, then I know the idea is ripe. If I'm struggling already after a couple, I know something's not figured out. There's an element that's missing, like who knows what's wrong.
I see.
Right, and so that was one of the ideas that I kind of started with, and I messed around with making them like bugs and everything, and so nothing clicked.
I see. Is there any idea that you kind of had off the wall of oh, this is the craziest I can get with an anthology version of Primal?
I mean, I'm not a fan, but I love history, and I'm interested in all the world wars that everybody's gone through, and so I wanted to do something with World War I, right? But to do it without dialogue and the same feel, I felt it was too kind of shticky or something wasn't right, but it felt like and then I had this idea, right? I had this idea of a warrior's point of view through time. So you start with a Roman soldier, and that becomes a World War I soldier, and that becomes a future soldier, and it's all the same guy through time and all the different aspects of war. Maybe at one he's a coward, at one he's a hero, right? And it was a really big idea, and I just don't know what it had to do with with Primal and all of that, but so that was another one.
Amazing. Now, will we be returning to this world as an anthology at some point in the future?
I don't know. After blabbing about that I'm done with it after the second season and then changing my mind, I think everything's open right now. I think the one thing that I want Primal to be everlasting. As long as I'm working, I always want a new season of something.
Now, all of your shows have a very distinct visual style, from the retro future look of Dexter's Lab to the striking cinematic look of Samurai Jack, and of course, the Clone Wars, and finally now Primal. How does the show's newest season raise that visual standard that you've set for yourself?
I mean, we're always pushing, color and mood and stuff, and I think it's in line for what we've done in the first two seasons. It's more definitely nature-based, opposed to the second season where we had more man-made things, right? And so I think it follows that. What really gets amped up in the third season, I think, is the emotional stakes. I think they're even bigger than anything that we've done. And kind of what I was saying earlier, because you're invested already in the character, there's a stress and anxiety right at the beginning, and that's the feedback I've been getting back from people that watch it, and that's great, because that's the dream, is to have the people care for your characters, So I think otherwise it's the third season, so we're kind of doing a similar thing, but yeah.
Amazing. Now, this is IGN Fan Fest, so of course we ask the IGN audience to submit their own question. This one comes from X Simon Says. He asks, how long does each episode take to make?
Oh, well, it takes about, I would say about almost 6 to 8 months, start to finish. But then we start a new episode every 2 to 3 weeks, right? So if you can imagine, we start the storyboard, then the next one starts writing, then it goes into layout, another one starts storyboarding. So everything is overlapped. So at one point we have, 5 or 6 episodes that are always in some stage of production.
I see. Now, final question. Who has the best chance of survival in Primal? Is it Samurai Jack, Dexter, or Dracula?
Well, Dracula's undead, so that's pretty simple for him, I think.
He's got an advantage there for sure.
Yeah.
Miss me. Okay, you win. Hold this bacon.
Why am I holding bacon? Ah!
All right, well, there you have it. Gendy, thank you so much for hanging out with us. You can check out new episodes of Primal on Adult Swim and HBO Max right now. And for everything else gaming, entertainment, and FanFest, stick with IGN.
Thank you.
IGN Fan Fest is presented by HyperX and Neverness to Everness.
The Cinefix Top 100. A list so secretive even we don't know what movies are on it or where they rank.
What do you mean you don't know?
Each episode will reveal one of the movies.
Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed. That was good. I liked it.
Talk about why it belongs and finally find out where it ranks.
Are you not entertained?
Are any of the movies we've shown here even on the list? I have no idea, and it drives me crazy. Join us as we find out on Cinefix, IGN, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Why so serious?
Catch up on all your favorite shows with up-to-the-minute gaming and entertainment news with Geek Media Podcasts.
Welcome to a very special episode of IGN Game Scoop.
Game Scoop has you covered for all things gaming and the latest game releases. Tune into Podcast Beyond for the biggest PlayStation news.
Man, this is a cool looking trailer.
Everything Xbox on Podcasts Unlocked.
This is Steve Downs, the voice of Master Chief.
Catch up with your Super Nintendos on Nintendo Voice Chat.
Switched to pre-order Mania. It was chaotic last night.
And get all the latest console news and rumors with Next Gen Console Watch.
Now Xbox and Phil Spencer are even saying that a mid-gen refresh isn't even necessary.
The Cinefix Top 100 podcast picks a movie every week to celebrate and debate.
It's kind of every movie's grandpa.
Geek Media Podcasts, the best podcasts from around the world.
IGN Playlist is the best way to track your game collection. Now you can even import your entire Steam library to Playlist, making it easier than ever to review games, show off your collection to the world, and finally chip away at that massive backlog you keep meaning to get to. IGN Playlist, check it out.
Can't find that final collectible you're missing? IGN guides are trusted by millions, easy to use, and best of all, free. IGN has the very best, most complete and accurate guides for Shadow of the Erdtree, Baldur's Gate 3, Tears of the Kingdom, and so much more.
It's good, right?
Every guide is tested and verified for you by experts. Just search for IGN when you search for guides.
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds. Lawrence?
Let's find out what's going on here.
I'm trying to remember which ones we've revealed. I think my favourite is one we haven't yet revealed.
Feel free to reveal it, though.
I'm going to reveal it.
This is my favourite part.
Batman, but tiny and plastic. Yes, we're talking about Lego Batman, Legacy of the Dark Knight, and with me is Jonathan from the team at TT Games. How are you doing?
Great, thank you. It's fantastic to be here.
We just saw a brand new cutscene from the game that stars a little scene from Batman 89, the Tim Burton classic. But people might not actually have their heads around this yet. It's not just a game that is retelling these films, right? You have made an original story, kind of piecing together bits from the films as kind of this tableau, is that correct?
That's one iconic moment that we've woven in to the story of this game that starts with young Bruce Wayne and takes you on a journey throughout all the movies, all the comic books, 85 years of history from that fantastic character as you establish his legacy to really become the savior and hero of Gotham City.
And is it just the films we're looking at here, or are we taking bits from comics or other games?
No, we love the films and we're very influenced by the films, but there's so much to draw upon. It's been a complete joy to work with such a depth of storytelling material from brilliant creators in TV, animated series, comic books, of course, and across the field of media. Batman's always been there, telling great stories. We've brought them all into this brand new Lego game.
We obviously saw the Joker in this clip, the most famous Batman villain, and it's had a lot of different faces and voices over the years. I wonder, when the Joker appears in this game, do we get sort of like different versions of the Joker? Does the person portraying the Joker kind of be more of a Heath Ledger Joker or a Jack Nicholson Joker, as we've seen in this clip?
The story takes place over many years, and as Bruce grows, as you as the player explore more of Gotham City, start to build the Bat family, everything around Bruce starts to transform as well. And as you know, that Joker character that we all know from later on in Batman's crime-fighting career has an origin story as well. We'll get a glimpse of that. And then we'll see at key moments, he falls into the vat of Ace Chemicals. Later on, he will fall from another great height, as Jack Nicholson in that character does at the end of Batman 89. And we'll see him transform as Batman progresses as well to become a character who does some of the really striking and shocking things that we see in the Christopher Nolan trilogy.
And another character that we've seen kind of change and evolve over the years is Catwoman. Sometimes she's on Batman's side, sometimes she's against Batman. What sort of Catwoman are we seeing in this game? Is she more of a friend of Batman or a foe?
Well, with all the characters in this game, we want to give an essential version of that story that draws upon all their different aspects over the decades. We start from the modern, sort of most relevant, most recognizable, up-to-date version of that character. So we're quite influenced, particularly at this time, early in the story with the younger Bruce Wayne, by the Zoe Kravitz version from The Batman. And there's a sort of iconic outfit and look that she has. The scene that comes shortly after that in Shrek's department store draws very heavily on the representation of the character and the suit, iconically, that you'll remember from Batman Returns, the Tim Burton film with Michelle Pfeiffer in that role. The essence of Julie Newmar from the 60s is always in the sort of the spirit of fun of Catwoman. And we think we're bringing those all together into our Lego Catwoman. You'll have all those different suits to unlock, and the abilities that we've given Catwoman aren't seen in any one of those movies. She's got more tech now. She's got kittens that she can summon with a laser pointer and use in combat, and her whip can do things that we haven't seen in the other media. But I think you'd always recognize that as a video game Catwoman that, again, is just really fun to play with.
Let's dig deeper into Catwoman's ability set. Like, what is your favorite aspect of her kind of skill set in this game?
A lot of people on the team, myself included, were so delighted when early in prototyping, it became clear that to embody a cat. So it is so fun. So you can, as Catwoman, summon cats around with a laser pointer. You can sort of launch cats at enemies, and they'll scratch at their heads and do damage. You can also actually become a cat. So if you summon a cat, you can become a cat and then walk around and crawl into vents as a cat, sneak up behind enemies as a cat, distract enemies as a cat by meowing, jump up and down. And just being a cat is really fun.
Amazing. Correct me if I'm wrong, but we've seen glimpses of this game. Are there any references to the Zack Snyder films or Ben Affleck's Batman at all?
Absolutely. We draw upon everything across the history of the franchise into this game. So yeah, you've got suits and moments and vehicles that everyone will reference, everyone will recognize from across all the movies.
People who've played the Lego games for years are kind of used to these vast rosters with almost hundreds of characters at this point, whereas you've kind of focused it down to a much smaller roster this time around. And I wondered, is that kind of because you'd rather focus on these different characters and make them sort of a deeper gameplay experience and different from one another, rather than have an excess of characters with kind of variations on the same thing?
Well, we're doing several things that are new with this game. We're taking these individual characters on a journey as well. So you're constantly upgrading and developing new skills and opening up new abilities for each of those characters. Within the Batman Bat family as well, we really wanted to focus on making those characters really unique, making their personalities come across and their abilities very distinct so they work well in partnership with each other. And we then want to give you lots and lots of options to see the full range of what those characters can be by giving you more than 100 different suits to collect. So you still get that moment in the Batcave when you've got all the different suits from all the different characters arrayed in front of you, colourful and glorious. You're still compelled to sort of want to complete that collection. But the story, yes, is more focused on a tighter roster of characters that are now more differentiated with much deeper gameplay.
So people that enjoy like the collectathon aspect of LEGO games shouldn't be worried. There's plenty to find.
Oh my goodness, there's so many. In any LEGO game, there is so much to discover. There's a fantastic story that will take you through the highlights of Batman's legacy and get you started. But there's so much to discover in Gotham City as well. So many extras and collectibles and surprises.
Do you have a favourite one of those outfits, or would you not want to reveal that at this point?
I'm trying to remember which ones we've revealed and which ones. I think my favourite is one we haven't yet revealed.
Yeah. Feel free to reveal it, though.
I'm going to reveal it in the future, Sam.
This game we're saying it's obviously, reverential to the old LEGO games, but also kind of looking to the Rocksteady Arkham games, maybe in its combat, I think that's fair to say. And I wondered, kind of by trying to find the middle ground, has that been a tricky balance in maybe trying to please two audiences? Are you wary of maybe not pleasing either?
Well, on the contrary, what we find with all our LEGO games is that the more we can draw upon, the more different aspects of a character, the more wide we can make our gameplay, the more appealing it is to us as players and to younger players and older players. There's something about LEGO, that just translates well for everybody. So the more we can put into that, we don't find that it misses the mark for anyone at all. It just brings more to the party. So for this game, wanting to make a essential, really cool Batman combat experience, of course we honour and we look to and we draw upon the amazing work that the team at Rocksteady did, the definitive work that Rocksteady did to bring that character to life in video games. We want a really fluid combo-based combat system. We want very dynamic encounters. We want Batman to use his gadgets and mix them up with really powerful melee attacks. We delivered that, and then we've built around that, and we put it all through this beautiful LEGO lens that makes everything fun and accessible for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Kind of seemed like the Skywalker saga was a step in this direction, but can we consider those like old style of LEGO games maybe a thing from the past for TT games? Now are you kind of, for lack of a better phrase, like maturing as a studio, wanting to do deeper stuff?
So we're not leaving anything behind. We always carry our history with us. We made those games. People who work on those games are still working on the new games. We still love them. We still play them. With each step, and this has always been the case, we want to do new things. We want to keep that LEGO idea of fun, modern and relevant and up to date, and not get stuck in the past. With LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, as you know, we made a couple of really significant changes that fans really appreciated. So in particular, getting closer to the character, having a really immersive camera system, and then just starting to make the combat experience and some of the core gameplay systems deeper and richer than they had been before when we were further away and it was maybe a bit more arcadey in some respects. We don't want to lose the accessibility and immediacy, but that showed that we could add layers to that and make environments that were really big and broad and really deep and rich and rewarding. We've just gone further with LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight, and then also found aspects of the Batman character and the Batman story in Gotham City that have really worked well with that aspiration to get deeper, to be even more authentic in our treatment of LEGO, in our treatment of the story, in our treatment of the characters. And we couldn't be happy with the result.
So partway through the development of LEGO Batman, there was a big change at DC with James Gunn coming in. I wondered, has he had much of a influence over this game at all? Has he seen it? Has he played it?
Yeah, we couldn't have been happier when James Gunn arrived, because we love his sense of fun in all the storytelling that he's created over so many years, and we knew that he would make the character in the new movies and the other series as well more relevant and exciting. He'd bring new viewers in. The more people who are excited about Batman, the better, and James Gunn is the perfect person to lead that. We've been so thrilled with everything that he's done. We've been greatly supported by the DC team on this game, as we have been on previous DC games. And when James Gunn played the game, he gave some fantastic feedback. I know he liked it, and that was great to hear.
Lego Batman is coming out in May. Was that always the plan, or did a certain other game moving kind of dictate when this game would be released?
We knew we wanted it to come out in spring of this year. And we eventually had the opportunity, producing a game, as you get closer to the end, you can be clearer about when it's actually going to be able to make it. So we were really glad to be able to confirm that date when we did.
Amazing. And presumably a big sigh of relief when GTA 6 moved.
Well, sigh of relief. Look, I want to play that game. But we're also really glad to have some space for people to play Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. We're giving you an open city and a fantastic experience for all players. Which I thoroughly recommend, Simon.
Well, you don't really need to recommend it to me, Jonathan, because I'm already sold. I can't wait to play Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. Thank you so much.
Well, you played it at Gamescom, didn't you?
I did, but I want to play all of it.
Okay.
I only saw a tiny bit, and it wasn't
so
enough.
Much more.
I know. I want to collect every suit. I will be unlocking that platinum trophy in this game. I can tell you that.
Great.
I guarantee I will send you a screenshot once it's done.
Thank
okay. It's coming out in May. Can't wait to play it. Thank you so much again, and yeah, for more from video games, movies, TV shows, please keep watching IGN Fan Fest.
And that just about wraps us up for day one of IGN Fan Fest 2026.
But don't worry, because we have a whole other jam-packed Fan Fest Day coming your way tomorrow, where we'll get brand new looks at things like Scream 7, Project Hail Mary, the Scrubs reunion, and so much more we can't even tell you yet.
And if you missed anything from Fan Fest Day 1, head on over to IGN.com, IGN's YouTube channel, or your favorite IGN-shaped place on social media and catch up.
So from all of us here at IGN, thank you for watching IGN Fan Fest Day 1, and we'll see you tomorrow.
IGN Fan Fest is presented by Neverness to Everness and HyperX.
Hey you! Looking for a way to wear your fandom with pride? The IGN store is the ultimate destination for awesome merch and collectibles from the biggest games, movies, shows, and everything in between. Cruise the wasteland in style with a Vault Dweller hoodie and replica Pip-Boy. Whatever you're into, you're bound to find something. See for yourself and head to store.ign.com today. IGN Playlist is the best way to track your game collection. Now you can even import your entire Steam library to Playlist, making it easier than ever to review games, show off your collection of the world, and finally chip away at that massive backlog you keep meaning to get to. IGN Playlist, check it out.
Catch up on all your favorite shows with up-to-the-minute gaming and entertainment news with Geek Media Podcasts.
Welcome to a very special episode of IGN Game Scoop.
Game Scoop has you covered for all things gaming and the latest game releases. Tune into Podcast Beyond for the biggest PlayStation news.
Man, this is a cool looking trailer.
Everything Xbox on Podcasts Unlocked.
This is Steve Downes, the voice of Master Chief.
Catch up with your Super Nintendos on Nintendo Voice Chat.
Switch to pre-order Mania. It was chaotic last night.
And get all the latest console news and rumors with Next Gen Console Watch.
Now Xbox and Phil Spencer are even saying that a mid-gen refresh isn't even necessary.
The Cinefix Top 100 podcast picks a movie every week to celebrate and debate.
It's kind of every movie's grandpa.
Geek Media Podcasts, the best podcasts from around the world.
The Cinefix Top 100. A list so secretive even we don't know what movies are on it or where they rank.
What do you mean you don't know?
Each episode will reveal one of the movies.
Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed it. No, it was good. I liked it.
Talk about why it belongs and finally find out where it ranks.
Are you not entertained?
Are any of the movies we've shown here even on the list? I have no idea, and it drives me crazy. Join us as we find out on Cinefix, IGN, and wherever you get your podcasts.
Why so serious?